mother's sentiment. Her mother, even though her, when I was in, speaking terms with her mother would be nice. However, you've already instilled this rage and this hate because, you know, Elijah always says to me, you was never around, which is everybody knows that ain't true. I was around ever since you were born. The only time that I haven't been around has only been since I moved here to Panama. Anytime that you all requested something, and let me say this, that made sense because there were certain things that you all requested for me to do, and I'm like, that don't make no sense. I'm not leaving my house. You're not. Me personally, I'm not. You're not going to inconvenience me for something silly. If you made us, I'm not rewarding bad behavior. So there were some certain instances where they wanted me to do something, and I'm like, so you want me to get up out of my house after I just work, X amount of hours, drive all the way to where you're at when you can just take a Uber or you could just walk down the street or you could go. No, I'm not doing that. How much is the Uber? How much is whatever? I'll pay the 15 or whatever dollars because I'm not doing it, physically. But if it made sense, like, oh, your daughter needs to be picked up from school. The school is right up the street from me. No problem. I'm gonna go pick her up. Your daughter needs to be picked up from dance class. No problem. Dance class is right up the street. I'm gonna go pick her up. But then there was an instance where she wanted our daughter to go to a better school, but the better school was not down the street no more. It was in another city, which was like 20 about 15 miles away from me. And I'm like, why did you choose to go to that school anyway? Because that's a better school. Okay, but it's an inconvenience for the both of us. So what are you gonna do? You don't even, and at that time, her car was breaking down. So I'm like, why did you make that decision? Because everybody said that it was, no, I already knew what it was. You was listening to other people versus listening to what makes sense for you and what is more convenient for you. And now you're starting to see that this is an inconvenience and you can't hold it up anymore. And therefore, what happened? In the end, you ended up having to take her out of the school because you couldn't go get her from that school and pick her up. I wasn't going to do it all the time because it was an inconvenience for me. You should have just kept her in a school that was a convenience for the both of us. But see, stuff like this would happen all the time where in our relationship, okay, she would listen to the people who were more geared towards the system that we were just talking about with the video that I just showed, Rich Dad Poor Dad, where you go, get a good job. I mean, go to school, get a good job, work the 9 to 5 job, and then retire when you're 65. So there's that path to success. And I learned that there was a different path to success. And I started on that path. And I'm trying to show everybody else, hey, this path over here, if we all work together and do this for 10 years, we'll all be millionaires. Nah, I don't know what you're talking about. You want some weirdo-ish, you want some corny-ish. I'm looked out as the outcast. Even till today, I'm still looked out as the outcast because I chose to go on the path that I learned from reading, the Rich Dad Poor Dad information. You feel me? And them, but if you start to, recap and look at everybody's trajectory in life right now, you see the difference. I'm over here in Panama because I stayed on the path that I was on, and they stayed on the path that they're on. And yeah, they can say, oh yeah, she finally graduated. Okay, yay. I'm proud of you. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to graduate, But what are you going to do now? You're going to go to college? What are you going to study in college? How are you going to pay for college? You see what I'm saying? These are the things that I was trying to show you and instill in you so that by the time you got to this age and got to this situation, you'd be better off. But don't listen to him. He's on some weirdo stuff. He's on, some other ish. Okay, no problem. But then you're mad at me because as you just said, I'm not present. The reason I'm not present is because my ideology and what I'm trying to do with my life conflicts with what you're doing with your life and what your mother's doing with her life. And I don't want to sit there and argue with you about how you want to raise her and her and your ideology, because you already know I don't agree with none of that you're doing. I mean, even prime example, I never wanted my daughter to get earrings and get her ears pierced.
Why not, Cuzzo?
Because I didn't believe in desecrating the human body. And number two, I didn't want her to I wanted her to make her own choice to get her ears pierced.
Mm.
But then, I'm like, okay, if she turns, 14, 15, and she says, Mommy, I want to get my ears pierced. Okay, well, then go let her get her ears pierced. But then she's going to show me a video of her with her friends of a different persuasion piercing my daughter's ears, knowing that I'm dead against it, but you're gonna go do it anyway. And that's what I'm saying. You're always, listening to other people tell you what to do on how to raise your child. So okay, so since you want to listen to other people tell you on how to raise our child, okay, well, I'll be over here, and when, as they say, when the student is ready to learn, the teacher will appear. Because I'm not going to sit there and argue with you in your peanut gallery about certain situations. My daughter's old enough now. She's 18. She's 19 years old. If she wants to get some advice, I'm a phone call away. Let's read some of these comments.
Right. Ronan said he's backstage, bro.
Okay.
All right, so we got I don't even know how to pronounce that. Well, this brother says, your name why is your name the Black Cleaner, man?
What?
Go ahead.
Why is your name the Black Cleaner?
2 reasons. I've had a cleaning company for ever since 2013, so about 13 years now. And also, if you ever played the game Cash Flow 101, in order to win the game, the objective is to have your passive income exceed your expenses. Now, everybody always wants to choose the most expensive career. They want to be the airline pilot, they want to be the lawyer, they want to be the doctor. But the doctor, the lawyer, the airline pilot, they have the highest expenses, monthly expenses that you need to exceed in order to get out of the rat race. The janitor's expenses were the cheapest. And I was able to apply that same situation into my life, where I actually, took the career of being in cleaning and restoration, and I was able to use the money that I got from cleaning and restoration, which was actually a decent income. But because I had a minimalist lifestyle and a minimalist expenses, I was able to get out of the rat race early. So I was able to take I used that moniker, the Black Cleaner, for both of those reasons, to show you as a case study on how to be able to get out of the rat race early by being a cleaner versus trying to go get the high paying, corporate job.
Right.
You know, Black
Anybody? Oh,
Cleaner.
and welcome to the stage, Ronan the Traveler. How you doing, bruh?
Great, man. Great. It's a good show.
Wow.
You know, the cleaner could be referenced in the mob way of a guy that takes care of cleaning up and taking care of the people that are bothering others. You know what I'm saying?
We know
And
what you're talking about, Ronan.
You know, so
Cleaner.
maybe
cleaner.
that's my ass. you from that background, you know what I mean? But
Oh yeah,
no,
I mean,
great
well,
show, man. This is like a continuation from the show I had. I don't know, like great minds think alike or what, but with my show and this show, it's kind of complements each other, so it's awesome.
yeah. So tell us about your backstory, Ronan. Let's spin the block.
So, which part of the story you want to hear? The father part,
my
or
line.
Yes, the father part. How was you raised, and what did you learn, or how did he affect you?
let's put it this way: my father was a hothead. Okay, Baltimore, Maryland, back in the '60s. You can only imagine. My mom worked the books for the mob. My brother's dad, who was still married to my mother, he was a collector for the mob. Big 6'5" Indian dude, used to work the docks. Okay. My mom and his father split up, and then my dad jumped in. But my dad had such a quick temper, he would pull a gun on you in a heartbeat. You know, so it was a little bit of a tumultuous relationship even before I was born. But as far as my father being present, I knew who he was. I saw my father often until we moved out of the Maryland area, which was when I was young, you know, up until middle school. He sends for me. And by the way, he's a construction engineer. He worked on a lot of the bridges and things around Maryland area. So he calls me up around middle school and say, "Hey, you want to come out and visit?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So he flies me out to Maryland, and I stayed down there all the whole summertime, three months, you know, having a ball. My dad was giving me like $200 a week to run around with my cousin and do all kind of fucking delinquent ass shit as a middle schooler with $200 in your pocket and nothing else to do. You know, so I liked it so much I wanted to stay. And my mother had given me an option. Hey, you want to stay in Maryland or do you want to come back to Kansas? I'm like, I haven't spent time with my dad at all. Hell yeah, I want to stay. So that was the end of the conversation as far as I was concerned. My mom jumped on a plane, man, and 3 days later she was there. Nah, you going back. But as far as my father being around for me, he wasn't really around as much as he probably could have been if he chose to be. We talked distance-wise. I consulted with him. You know, when I was around him for those 3 months, like I said, he was a contractor and a construction engineer. So, you know, he taught me how to drywall, remove popcorn stuff. He taught me those things about construction, and my major was architecture. So he was super happy when I got my scholarship to go to college for architecture. And matter of fact, this was one of the last times I talked to my father. He went off on my mother when he found out I joined the Marine Corps and dropped out of college. My high school sweetheart got pregnant. And so I decided to do the adult thing, the responsible thing, and I dropped out of a college where I had a scholarship to go in the Marine Corps to help pay for my son that I had. And he was irate. Why didn't you call me and tell me? I would have sent extra money. I would have done whatever, keep him in college. She said, well, he didn't decide to ask you and I didn't volunteer any information. So because of his actions against my mother, I really blew up at him. And pretty much I thought I could repair the relationship later, but I was so focused while I was in the Marine Corps. By the time I had an opportunity, he had passed away. And he passed away at a time where I could not reach out, go home for the funeral. I was in the Gulf War.
Wow.
So He passed away the first Gulf War. 2.5 years later, my grandfather, who loved me to death, you know, always hung out with with him and my grandmother a lot. He passes away. He's asking for me on his deathbed. Guess where I'm at? I'm deployed again.
Wow.
I didn't get the message until we were back off station that he had passed away while I was deployed. I was irate. But I always had mentorship. I always had uncles, stepfathers, extended family like you guys were talking about. I always had that surrounding me. I had a good church family. My mom was always considered a mother of the church. You know, so there's always people in the church that were looking out for us, you know, taking us fishing, different things like that, camping. I joined what they call Royal Rangers, which is like the Cub Scouts of the Christian world, and went all the way through and got all my little medals and shit for that. You know, so I had always had an environment where there were men teaching you to be a man and what that took: responsibility, analytical thinking, controlling your emotions. Then I was in also martial arts, learned Taekwondo, Hoshimodo. I had taken so many different styles of martial arts. Then I even picked up boxing before I went in the Marine Corps and was training for Golden Gloves. So I've always had a coach, a mentor, or somebody around me to where I wasn't so mad at my dad, aside for the lack of control he had, because I made a decision with my life. And instead of being mad at me or having a conversation with me, he chose to have it with my mother. That's where the anger came from. Not that, you know, we didn't get along or anything. No, we were the best of pals. As a matter of fact, my mom almost went to the point of, when I was in high school, she was going to marry my father just so I would be legitimate. I'm a bastard. You know, I'm a love child, as you would say. You know, I don't carry my father. I don't carry my father's last name. I carry my brother's father's last name. You know, so she wanted to kind of make that right. By the time I was in high school, I said, why the fuck he'd even come to Kansas one time. Man, they fought like fucking dogs and cats. They're oil and water. They don't get along. I'm like, why would I allow you to put yourself through that just so you can give me some kind of fake air of legitimacy? I know who the fuck I am. You know, I don't need you to marry my father to prove to me that this is your family too. Nah, I know who they are. My grandfather loved me. My grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, you know, on my father's side, all know who I am. You know, so why would I ask you to do something like that after I'm already in high school, get ready to graduate? You're putting yourself in the middle of some shit that you didn't need to be involved in. You know, so I've always had a solid mind when it came to analytical thinking because of the environment she put me in. So no, I never hated my dad. I even helped my stepson fix his relationship with his father. And I built his legacy for him. And all he can do is say thank you. That nigga was literally crying for his son's graduation. Didn't even give a graduation conversation or speak. And I flew his ass out, his wife and his daughter, to his son's graduation.
Okay.
So if you tell me I'm a solid man behind doing all those things, then that's what I am. I live and walk and talk the same fucking way. I don't change my mind about anything. So I had a great relationship with my father. I don't regret the things that happened. I understand from his point of view why he might have not been with my mother. Of course, I've seen their interaction. So I never had a hateful thought about my father not being around and feeling like I'm missing out on something. No, I have plenty of men as examples around me. So that's my story.
Okay.
Did I answer your question? I don't know if I did or did.
Yeah, you gave the backstory. That was a good backstory. Interesting. Let me give the shout outs to Foreign Skies. I see you in the comments. Shout out to Travel Time with Ryan and Chalupe. I see all of you all. Thanks for being there, supporting the chat. Hit the like button, you all. Hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing to hit those buttons.
Yes, sir.
So, but also too, now we know your backstory. So what's your future story? What's the story that you're trying to instill? We talked a little bit about it on your live when you were saying that you wanted to document, some of your morals and your intentions so that people will have something to refer to.
So my current history is obviously I was married twice. I have 4
Mhm.
grown sons. My oldest son is 40 years old, and I have 2 grandchildren by him. One's 17, grandson, and a granddaughter that's 14. So beside for going through what I went through, I made sure that I established relationships with all my sons. And I told you this the other day. I don't expect my sons to do anything but every once in a while maybe check in. I've already instilled the roots, my morals, my ethics, and everything else in them. They understand that they can seek my knowledge, they can seek counsel with me, and at the end of the day, they can apply whatever I told them or not. That's their choice. That's their life.
Mhm.
But they also understand there's consequences to their choices.
The
Yeah.
biggest thing for
Choice.
all
Yeah.
that
Say
is
that
your
again.
presence. I feel like the biggest thing for me is
Mhm.
throughout all that, you're present.
Yeah. Even
And
though I
as
might have divorced from the mothers,
you gotta
even
be
though
more.
even though I was divorced from the mothers, I paid my child support. I had them on the weekends. Every weekend or every other weekend, I would have my son. And in that, I instilled, my faith, my beliefs, my morals, and my ethics as I had them. They knew what to, and you know how kids are, and I'm sure you guys growing up, when you jump from one house to another, you knew there was different house rules. My house, you had to take off your clothes, your shoes when you got in the house. Certain things I had that they wouldn't necessarily apply to their mother's house. You get what I mean? So they
Mhm.
even knew the differences between what environment they were in and what parent they were around.
Okay. So, was there a lot of conflict or
Mm-mm.
in the
I-
co-parenting situation,
No,
or
I don't.
everything was easy peasy?
I wouldn't
a
have
lot
married a
more-
woman that was going to give me any kind of conflict like that. I don't deal with baby mama drama.
He's
I
like,
don't
yo,
deal with women that
I
could
bet
even
him
give me the
beforehand. I hear
potential.
you.
Yeah, I don't even mess around with chicks that would give me the potential of baby mama drama. I could literally have ex-girlfriends in a room with girls or women that I was dating. You would never see them pop off, look at the woman. You would never know that woman actually dated me in the same room as us, because you don't know how the other person's going to react.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying I'm perfect, brother. Believe me, it takes a lot of years of wisdom, mistakes, and correcting your mistakes. I'm always double checking myself. You forget my background is architecture, JM. What does an architect has to do? He has to be good at mathematics and imagining things and how they couldn't work, and rechecking and making sure those things will work. So I always check myself. Even between relationships, I would take time for myself. I would have to go through therapy before I went back into another long-term relationship. I wasn't the kind of guy that jumped from one relationship to another just to say I was in a relationship. I always had women around me. I grew up in a family of beautiful people. What the fuck? It wasn't a struggle. And I'm sure you gentlemen know that too. When you grow up around people that have beauty to them, it's nothing for you to be comfortable in that environment and talking to those type of women.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. Trying to find some set up my videos right now, but
All up in the video.
exactly.
All up
But
in
go ahead, King.
Nah, I was just repeating what he said. All up in the videos, on the song.
Mr. Dawkins. So yeah, fatherhood's a tricky thing. It's a layered process of learning and setting roots into your children, and sometimes it takes years. Sometimes they click right on it. Like, most fathers, like when my mom raised me, she whipped the shit out of me. You know, I had it down to where I would teach my kids consequences for their non-action. And these are all boys. So they need to learn that right off the bat. I wouldn't just corporal punish their ass. I give them choices.
What do you mean consequences
Ron.
for non-actions? What do you mean consequences for non-actions?
So let's put it this way. When they were babies or when they were young, you'd ask them to do something and they either would acknowledge it or not acknowledge it. The way I taught them and the way I raised them is, look, when they were younger, say 3, 4 years old, I'd ask them to do something. And I say, okay, that's fine. That'd be one. I'm gonna ask them to do it, and I'm saying, look, that's one time. If they didn't do it by the time I come back, that's once. I'm gonna give you 4 chances because they were young, right? If I come back and it's not done, you're either gonna get spanked or you're gonna get a punishment. Okay. And they would shake their head and say, okay, I'm gonna get spanked or punished. Okay, acknowledged it. Walk away, come back. That's 2. What's going to happen if I get to 4? I'm going to get spanked or I'm going to get punished. Okay. 3, 4. All right. It never got to 4 when they were young. Okay.
Right.
As they got older, the number stopped from 4 to 3 to 2. I'm going to ask you one fucking time. And if you don't do it, you're going to get spanked or punished. You know, the one time I ever had to spank my son was my youngest son, and he was 13, maybe 10. And he was just an inquisitive type of kid. He'd take shit apart and put it back together. I was in a condo that GTE Yellow Pages was paying for in Palm Springs. And I guess the condo that they were paying for me to be in for the next 3 months while we worked at Area's Yellow Pages, it had the old coaxial cable underneath the carpet for the TVs back when they ran coax cable. And my son must have felt it and was like, what the fuck is this? And he started pulling at it. So he pulls that and pulls that until he pulls it all up from underneath the carpet. I'm like, oh my fucking God. So I come in from work and I see this other person's house with cable all over the floor. I'm like, God damn, what the fuck? That's the one time I ever had to whip my youngest son. Because it wasn't just a punishment. That was basically destruction. You know, and even in the Marine Corps, I was a guy that would ask you to do something, man to man. Even though I might have had more rank and I was put in charge, I asked you to do it. Right? I come back, it wasn't done. It wasn't no 1, 2, 3, 4. I got you with a fucking E-tool and I had you dig me a fucking fighting hole. Now, everybody else in the unit saw, what the fuck? They go out and say, hey, why are you digging that fighting hole? Corporal Foster asked me to do this and I didn't do it. So now he's got me out here digging a fucking fight. Guess what? I never had any problems with anybody else in the fucking unit once they started seeing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ask you as a man to do something. You don't do it, then consequences are going to be followed. It's the way I've always been.
Repercussions.
Yeah.
You gonna eat that cornbread?
And I wasn't an intimidating guy, man. I'm telling you, I look like a baby-faced assassin. But believe me, anything came out of my mouth, I followed through on it. I wasn't somebody I play around with my words. Like even when I was getting ready to come over here, everybody used to say, oh, you're dating AI girlfriend, whatever. Look, I can show you better than I can fucking tell you who the hell I am.
Exactly. And I guess that's what it is with me as well, too. There comes a point where I just stop talking about it and then I just start living it. And then you just got to see what the results of what I'm doing. And, you know, that's what happens. They see the results, but now it's too late because it's all like, but then, you know how some people will see that you're benefiting and it's like, he got lucky doing that.
Yeah.
Or I could never do that. And it's like, nah, you could have done it when I was on the ground floor telling you to do it, but you didn't want to do it. So I ended up having to go by myself to go do it. And now, okay, I'm living good because of it, or I'm doing it. But you didn't want to take a part of the responsibility. Then sometimes another opportunity will come. Hey, you want to get on this one? But because it's at ground zero again, Nah,
Nobody
I don't want to
wants to
do
work.
it. It's like, okay, you remember what happened the last time? All right,
Right.
see ya. And then I go about my way and I go do it. And then, you know how it is. Once you stay focused on something until you get it, until you succeed, it happens. But a lot of people, they don't want to, they're too busy caught into this other system that, they got us drawn in, where you're working this 9 to 5,
Yeah.
you're paying your bills, and you're just over there, struggling and surviving, as they say, in good times.
Right. But I
And
mean,
they don't
I
believe
would
in
say,
that because of fear. That's what I noticed. It's really fear. They're afraid because that is unknown to them. They thinking it's a get rich quick scheme.
yeah, if you're not familiar with the concepts and the idea of being successful, you're going to be fearful of thinking that some kind of trick to it, or it's never going to work for you.
Yeah, exactly. And but see, I guess because I came from the extended family where I was able to see different, aspects of success, I was able to say, okay, well, I seen what he did over there. Let me go try that. My brother, for example, I have a brother who was good in construction, and I worked alongside him. And so I was able to see him, take one job, and in 3 days make $10,000. And all he did was just, fix somebody's concrete sidewalk. And I'm like, damn, how and I'm working alongside him. And of course we get the $10,000, and he's all like, he pats me on the head and says, hey, thank you for helping me. But he still gives me, $1,000 for helping him.
Right.
So when you get to experience that, now you're like, oh man, let me see if I can duplicate that. So then you try to go get somebody to help you to be able to duplicate it, but they scared.
Right. I mean, we grew up in Gen X, man. I mean, I'm sorry. You went out and found shit to do.
Yeah.
And if you went out and found shit to do that actually made you money, it became a little kick for you. Like, we used to run around the neighborhoods and pick up bottles and cans. What do we pick up bottles and cans to go do? Go change them, put money. 5 cent a bottle, so much weight in aluminum cans. We go to the recycle, get the money, go to Dairy Queen, buy burgers or whatever, and have a fucking little good ass time. But you were picking up, doing something positive while you were doing it.
Yeah.
We do that. I also cut grass. I shovel snow because I lived in that environment. I own blocks. You guys talk about you work corners for selling drugs. I own blocks as far as cutting grass, shoveling snow, and raking leaves. So I always had that entrepreneur spirit because my mom only had to suggest one time to me, because I kept on complaining about the way she cut my hair. I was like, look, Mom, you fucking me up for real. And I wouldn't say it like that to her. Obviously, I was too young, but she was messing me up. She goes, look, the minute you can get a job and afford to pay for your own haircut, you don't have to worry about me anymore. Bet. That's all you had to tell me.
Yeah, I was fortunate. I had Keem cutting my hair when he finally was able to learn how to cut.
So
and you were the guinea pig.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't the guinea pig. He wasn't the guinea pig because I was already kind of nice for my shit. So
okay.
He was certified talent.
But then he would always try to do something. Keem is a creator, so he would always also try to set some styles and some trends. I remember he did this line.
Don't tell me he did the high
be like, yo, somebody messed up on your line, bro. Right. And Keem's like, no, that's what I'm doing. That's the new style. We bringing it in.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah. And it was something as simple as a fucking part and knowing how to properly blend that shit in.
But let me introduce Foreign Skies. Welcome to the stage, Foreign Skies. How you doing?
Salute.
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
Yep. Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Black Cleaner, salute, man. This is my first time on your channel on one of your streams, so I'm kind of excited about that. Shout out to you, Ronan. I don't know the brother King, but shout out to you too, brother.
Right back at you, bro.
All right.
I'm new to this. This YouTube thing, but we're gonna get it
Yeah,
together.
because I've been waiting to get on the Black Cleaner stream for a while. I just have to pick the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'm just trying to, bring good content to the travel space or the Black travel space because there's a lot of, trash out there. I just have to come out and say it. We do not like the e-beggars. We do not like the mongers. And of course, as they say, the loudest voice in the room is the one that gets the reputation. So I'm like, okay, we need to foil that. Like, Ronan said it best. He said the Gen X's have been silent for too long. So we need to start drowning out that negative, space to get that negative reputation out of it. So that was one of the main reasons that I got on, and started doing it. And also, too, what I noticed is that a lot of the other YouTubers who were doing it on the regular, because they lived regular lives, and they noticed that YouTube wasn't paying that much. They're like, yo, I can't afford to be doing this because it's taken away from my regular job. That's why you don't see a lot of them doing it a lot anymore. So I was just like, something, I ain't got nothing else to do. So let me get on here and, help them out and get my YouTube page going. It also will help me build up, clientele to sell my books. And also, as I said,
Yeah, for sure.
positivity out there. But let's spin the block.
Respect. Is it a certain topic y'all talking about, or y'all just chopping it up?
Oh, no, the topic, because we just came out of Father's Day. So the topic is daddy issues Monday. So we're talking about how has your father being present in your life or not being present in your life, how has he affected you? What have you learned or from your father, what to do or what not to do? Just give us your backstory about you and your daddy's relationship.
Okay, cool. So first I'm gonna start off by saying this Father's Day, because I don't have any kids, but I'm seeing how Father's Day has been being treated over the years. And it's like every year that I see, it's like the praise, the respect, the celebration, the camaraderie, all of that stuff is like none and void. Like you go to the stores, there's nothing for Black men or just fathers in general. You go, like, you might see certain women give a shout out, Happy Father's Day, but you don't really see how Mother's Day is. And I ain't gonna lie, it's triggering. Like, across the board, looking on social media, leaving outside of my door, I don't see a lot of men in the neighborhoods barbecuing, having get-togethers, or going out with their kids. It just seemed like it's just a not important holiday at all. Like nothing is being, celebrated or pushed for that day. And it's got me really wondering why, like, what's going on to where the Father's Day holiday is not even like noticed or announced or celebrated at all. So I'm gonna just say that, just about like based off what I've been seeing. Another thing for me personally is I had a stepdad, so I don't know my biological father. Like I don't know the actual man that made me. And I was being taken care of by a stepfather since I'm not gonna say born, I'll say 2 or 3 years old. Another man stepped up and decided to take care of me and kind of show me some of the things that he knew. He didn't know much, but he gave me some core values. So, and he died when I was like 11, 12, and I actually found him deceased. So as far as my biological father, I have been going back and forth with my mom about this, and I'll say I've been interested because I'm 34 now. So I'll say about 25, 26, I really started questioning her about who made me, where I come from, that side of the family. And based on what my mom went through, you know, we can get into that if y'all want to know a little bit later. I ain't gonna say too much, but she didn't really have enough information for where he is or his side of the family. So basically, I don't know my biological father. I don't know nobody on that side of the family. I probably got she told me that I got another grandmother out here and I got another brother out here who I'll probably never meet because she didn't do a good job with hanging on to that side of the family so I can have some type of connection. And based off her recollection, she was telling me he didn't want to be involved. Basically, he wasn't claiming me. And I understand that is trauma. A lot of our, mothers went through that, gave men children who didn't want children or had kids somewhere else, et cetera, et cetera. But I always told her, Mom, I get he didn't want to be a part, but at least you could have did enough to keep me connected to that part of the family so I can know those people, like my aunties and my grandma on my father. You know what I'm saying? Like at least I want to know that, even if I can't know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, real
That's
quick,
a big problem though nowadays.
Did you catch your father's last name as far as
No, I have my mother's last name. She don't even know. She know his first name, but she don't know his last name.
The only reason I say that is I had to go through the process of finding my mother's family because she was
Hold
stolen
on,
as a child.
Ronan. We gotta. I need to chime in on that real quick, bro. You just made a statement, and I saw Black Cleaner react to it, and I know he got a question. So go ahead, Black Cleaner, get it.
Yeah.
So we can't just walk past that.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead, cousin.
Moms don't know daddy's last name, so all she knows is his street name. Hey, he just goes by the name Ray Ray.
Okay. So to give you a little bit more insight, my mother dealt with addiction throughout her life, and the type of man that she chose, I don't know if it was a fling. I don't know if it was just she was vulnerable and he, was attracted to her and she was attracted to him. And then they had some type of situationship or relationship. But based off the way she talks about him, it was anytime that she seen him and she was trying to get him to acknowledge me as being his son, it was, that ain't my son, that ain't my baby, get the fuck out of my face, you Black B, this, and that. And like any other mother Black Cleaner, they're gonna say, well, if I can't make a man stay, all I could do is take my kids and take care of my kids the best way that I can. I can't keep trying to hold on to a man that don't want to be a father.
Understood. But you get what I'm saying, because we all
Yeah.
We're all in this travel space. What's the one thing that we always talking about when we're talking about these chicas? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like basically, she's getting the chica treatment, but you see how that's affecting you as because your father is one of these guys that's treating your mom's like a chica. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, basically. And I don't like okay, and Black Cleaner, sometimes a mother will never give you, even if she do remember detail for detail, because it's some things she just don't want to say to her kid as far as what she been through or her experience, some type of trauma or something happened that she's probably going to go to the grave with. You know what I'm saying? And I can't get that information out of her.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that situation with who was it? The choir director. I keep on calling. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the songwriter, the gospel director.
Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, Kirk Franklin. Remember what he found out about who his father was, and his mom's kept lying because she already, told him that his father was somebody else, and then the father, actually approached him and they took a DNA test and she still was lying about it.
Yeah. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. So it kind of reminds me of that kind of a situation.
Yeah, for sure. But just, sharing my story is when I was 15, 20 years old, it never really dawned on me because certain things trigger what you don't have in your life. So you seeing other men or other boys your age with a father or you're seeing nuclear families with two-parent household. They know their lineage, they know who they come from, they got their daddy last name, use a this or use a that family. Basically, it's like, you got my last name, I'm instilling in you masculinity. And another thing is being a masculine man. Like, that's another thing that, like I say, my stepfather, he didn't know a lot, but he tried to basically give me the basics. Take me to school, take care of me, feed me, put clothes on my back, take me to church. But I wasn't getting those talks, those young man talks, you know what I'm saying? These are some of the life keys that you need. These are some of the things that you need to know as you start to grow older. And I was kind of too young, Black Cleaner. Like, I'm, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Like, not saying I wouldn't comprehend anything he was telling me, but he didn't know a lot, and I was too young to really understand anything,
Yeah, I got you.
But
So based off that, yeah, go ahead.
did you come up in a two-parent household?
No, so I actually came up in a household when I was raised with my grandmother and my mother. But fortunately, I had somebody try to be a stepfather, try to be in a fatherly role. See, it's not just the basics though. It's what you instill in that young boy, not just taking care of his basics. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm coming from the aspect of, I didn't really learn a lot. I was just being taken care of. But no, I wasn't raised in a two-parent household. It's my mother and my grandmother who predominantly took care of me.
Right.
Well, that's you. And you see how normal lies that is in our society.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
for sure, Black Cleaner. And real quick, because I got to say this. When you start to be a teenager and certain things as far as growing and evolving, and you get 18, 19, 20 years old, and then you hear a lot of things about being a masculine young boy, or learning masculine ways, or being manly, learning things that you need to know, life skills like changing the tire, fixing the doorknob in the house, learning how to fix things around the house, basic things. I was never taught none of that. So even though I was in my early 20s, and I shouldn't be directing this towards the women, but there was a time where women of value, if your tire blow out, you can get outside. You don't got to call no roadside assistance. You can get outside and change that tire. If something break down in the house that's kind of basic, like, changing like a blowed out light bulb, which is easy because I can do that, or changing out like a doorknob handle, or, fixing like a screw under the sink or something, like takes a 1, 2, 3 process. I never really had to learn none of them things until I really got on my own. But the reason why I started to think about that, y'all, is because hearing women say, you're not a man if you can't do this. You're not a man if you can't do that. If me and you in the car and the damn tire blow out and I got a spare and all the things in the back of the trunk, and we got to call roadside assistance, and it'll be an hour and 20 minutes. We both sitting here stupid. You the man, you can't get out there and fix his tire?
Right.
Like shit like that start to bother me, because it's like, well, I wasn't taught it, and I didn't really have no men in my family, uncles, cousins, a father to teach me that. And now that I'm of age on my own, I have to learn it on my own. But I really never had to learn it on my own because I never had to go through it. So that's when I decided, you know what? There's some men out here that are in my situation, because I have heard a lot of stories about men who don't have their biological father or a father at all. And they had to learn their masculinity, teach themselves everything to become the man that they is today. Then you got other men who their masculinity and their life lessons and their life value skills was passed down to them. Grandfather, father, things of that nature. So I was kind of struggling with that. And then I was also struggling with like, why I don't know who made me. Like I kind of look like my mom, but I don't. I got other features that I don't know where it come from. I got a grandmother out here. I got, cousins. I probably got a brother or a sister on that other side who I never meet. And that really took a toll on me. It didn't make me crash out, y'all, but it just put me in deep thought. And it made me start.
Let me stop you right there real quick. I just got a question for you. Do you want to know? Do you want to know?
Yeah. That's why I was grilling my mom so much, Ronan. I was grilling her so much, but she...
Don't listen to her no more. Don't listen to her no more. Go get an Ancestry DNA test. Take it. And whatever name doesn't pop up on your mother's side of the family, that's your father.
Ronan, so I did that, right? And
okay, what happened?
So basically, it needs a little bit of information for you to go off of, right? So it'll ask you like, what's your grandmother's name? I know my grandmother's name, but if I put in my grandmother's name and I get a little bit of information as far as what my mom told me, because this is, Ronan, this is another thing.
You're doing the tree, but did you do the blood test? Did you spit in the tube?
No.
Wait, say that again?
Did you spit in the tube and spit your saliva in?
Yeah, it told me like what my genetic makeup, like what I am. Like I'm 83% African, I'm like 15% white. You know what I'm saying? I did that.
When you go to the family tree side, you can check your mother's name all day long. Grandmother, whatever, of her side. Anything that don't match up with that side, that's your father's side. I had to do this for my mother, who was 71 at the time.
Okay.
My mom's 18 now. Okay. I told you she was stolen as a child. The parents she thought were her parents were not her parents. They were her foster parents, and they stole her from her real mother. Back in those days, in the 40s. Okay. Children were born out of wedlock. They didn't want the husbands to know. They would give them off to an orphanage or somebody would adopt. My mom was in the 40s. Okay. Well, my son at one point asked me, Dad, what are we? I said, well, I know my father's side all the way back to England and all these other places. But as far as my mother's side, I don't have any idea. So I took a DNA test. And on my father's side, I have my aunt doing the DNA test. Plus, I knew my family history on my father's side anyway. So anything that didn't match up with my father's side was obviously my mother's side. Right?
Okay.
So then I started calling people and sending them emails and trying to get in contact with them, saying, look, here's the story about my mother. She was stolen from her mother by a foster family that was temporarily holding my mother. Okay. And one lady responded back to me and said, hey, my grandmother told me a story at 8 years old that was similar to this. Here's my last name. This is what I know. And my father is your mother's brother. What the fuck? So I contact her and start telling her the story and the similarities. Come to find out, my grandmother, she had my mother's name in the family Bible. What she looked like when she was born, everything, her full real name, because we weren't even knowing her real name besides Joanne. Okay. So when she went back and looked in the family Bible and saw my mother's name there, she goes, yeah, my grandmother, which is your mom's mother, and my father. Shut the fuck up. But again, like you said, your father or your mother's story currently is your father didn't want anything to do with you. Okay.
And she don't remember much because of her drug addiction and her own mental illness and things like that.
Right. You got to broach that a little differently. Now, remember, when you're doing DNA tests, it's two-sided. It's your mother's mother and it's your mother's father. So it would be your father and then your grandparents behind your father that could be interested in knowing who you were. Okay. So even though the father might not know, the grandparents might want to know. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't let somebody that's telling you what a little bit of, this is your information. This is your life. You want to find out, you can find out. It's how persistent you want to be while you're trying to find out.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to dig too far into
that. No, Ronan. Brother, that's some good advice. But also, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna pass it to somebody else who just joined the panel. When on your mother's side, your family tree is not strong as far as people keeping communication with each other. You know,
Right.
aunties and cousins and family reunions and things like that. If you don't really have a lot of that, to where you don't know where a lot of your family on your mother's side is, because of whatever trauma my great grandmother went through with my grandmother, because my great grandma had like 11 kids, and my grandmother, which is her daughter, she did take us to like family reunions here and there throughout the years, but it was never truly connected. Like we'll all get together and I don't really know who these people is. But Facebook, you know, keeping in contact with certain people, adding people like that, that really wasn't a thing. And then my cousins, my aunties and stuff, we going over each other houses, and you know, I'm learning who my family is. It wasn't much of that on top of the father side just being exempt. So I'm kind of starting off in a rough patch. And I agree with what you're saying, because I did do the DNA test and I found out what I was basically made up as far as like my genetics and everything and my DNA. But trying to go like to the family tree and like, okay, what's your grandmother's name? I type in my grandmother's name and it'll give me 6, 7 people with the same name from different parts. And it's like, I don't know who is who. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little mind boggling because you don't really have exact correct information, like when this person was born and, you know, things like that. So what I decided was, yes, I really do want to know and I'm going to figure it out, but I'm willing to pay that money. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm willing to pay that money, bro. Ain't no wrong with that. I'm willing to pay somebody a nice little chunk of change who can take my DNA sample, run it through a database, and start somewhere. Because my mother don't have much to tell me. She say my daddy name is Keith. I don't remember his last name. I don't know your grandma name or none of them. My mom been through a lot of stuff as far as like her own demons. So her trying to, you know, trace back to the 80s, it ain't much there, you know?
No, I get it.
Unless it's that, Ronan, or it's just some things she don't want to tell me because maybe she's embarrassed about it. Or
shoot me an email on my it's on my YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, okay, back.
A pathway of trying to figure out some things. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm very interested in learning more of my mother's side and who I don't even care about him. I just want to know how my people look, basically.
Let me ask you a question. Does your mother have any siblings?
She got my uncle Tommy. She got one brother, but he's distant. Like, you know, they fell out when they were like teenagers. They kind of went their separate ways. My uncle Tommy went to the military, never looked back, and my mom stayed in Chicago.
You might want to talk to your Uncle Tommy. I bet you he knows a little bit more information, because even though he might have fell out with your moms, he still knows.
And he's got
your mom, the places that your moms, you know, got around with. You know what I'm saying? Where the happening spots were and all of that stuff. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I know my family for the South, Mississippi and Alabama. I know that. It told me that. So that's something. Like, because I know about, you know, slavery and the Great Migration and, you know, all of those things. I've been looking up a lot of the information. So I know we damn near all come from the South. But it's just the timelines and who my great-great-great-grandmothers and my great-great, I have no recollection of none of that. But like you say, Rona, it's possible. Don't have your, you know, don't have your hopes in the gutter. You can always find out.
Yeah, believe me, people are seeking that information more and more because of the stories where, oh, well, we're part Cherokee. Bullshit. No, you're not. You know, figure that shit out. Don't go off of rumors that gone on for 5 generations. Go on and figure it out. And I'm telling you, the stronger you know your history, the stronger you become and confident you become as an individual, knowing where you're from and who you are.
I agree.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that, because I was just talking about how, you know, my brother, you know, me and my brother, we had separate fathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, if I was to show you a picture of him, ever since he was 16 years old, he's always been 6'3", 250 pounds. You know, he was a defensive end when he was in high school.
Right.
So that's how he was always built. He's 10 years older than me. So ever since I was 6 years old, I've always had this big, gruesome bully over me. Okay? And the reason I'm saying this is because
he was brolic.
Oh yeah, he was brolic like a, but when he was schooling me, he's schooling me from his standpoint. It's like a giraffe giving a turtle instructions on how to, fight a grizzly bear type of situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those two don't mix. So, I would be out in these streets and he's giving me, yo, you just need to go over there and sock him in his face. And yeah, it's easy for you to go sock him in his face, big bro, because you big brolic 6'2". I'm only, 5'3" at that time. You know what I'm saying? A little skinny, lanky dude. But then when I was able to get with my father, and my father had, three other boys, two other boys that were older than me. And now I'm seeing my brother, Nick, who comes from my father, and he looks pretty much similar to me. He's, 5'11", 6 feet, you know what I'm saying? He's skinny, but at the same time too, I used to think because he wasn't as big as my brother, he was, he couldn't handle himself. And then we ended up going into the gym and he's on the speed bag and he's, hammering at the speed bag. And, I just got out of the military. So I'm thinking I'm in shape and I'm over here trying to work out with him. And he is pretty much just killing me at everything. And I'm like, damn, how the hell did you do this? He's all like, well, yeah, you might have ran, your PRT in the military, which is only 1.5 miles, but I've ran the Boston Marathon 3 times.
Damn.
That part.
Yeah, that's a conditioning for sure.
You see what I'm saying? So the way that he was able to handle things, I was able to see a better version of myself because he was, because we all came from the same shaft, type of situation. Yeah. And so, I he had the same intelligence as my father, and he approached things in a way where I saw myself when I was alone approaching those same situations. So having the person who is your biological father in your life, you're able to see, how he is able to approach things like, and what Ronan said, you're able to get a better understanding of yourself and how you do things sometimes. Versus if you do have a stepfather, you're really trying to, adjust to, how your stepfather does things, and it might not fall in line with how you do things. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that is, you definitely want to get to know, who you are and where you come from. And the same thing with your history. Like, ever since I started learning, more and more about my father's side of the family, because actually, I mean, I know I did the same thing that Ronan did. I was able to go on Ancestry and FamilySearch.org and, start to connect all of the dots. So I was able to trace both my father's side of the family and my mother's side of the family, both her mother's side and her father's side. So I know pretty much all my great grandparents. We got, how'd I say, we got 2 grandparents, but we got 4 great grandparents. So I was able to learn, all 4 of my great grandparents' history and where they come from. And being able to see their history and how it all connects is just crazy. Like, being able to actually know that, when I went to go see the Michael Jackson movie, and then they said this, the guy, Bill Bray. And I'm like, yo, that's my father's last name. And then I call my family and I'm like, yo, who's Bill Bray? Is he related to us? And they're like, yeah, that's your great uncle. That's your grandfather's brother.
That's a beautiful thing.
You see what I'm saying? So now when I'm walking out with my chest out, leaving the movie. Oh, yo, my great uncle, he was Michael Jackson's security. This old high yellow ass.
Hey, watch it with that high yellow shit, man.
Hey, that's my grandfather. All of them is my grandfather actually was pretty much your complexion with gray eyes.
That's my whole
My
family.
grandfather was
gray or green eyes.
Yep, and that's how my family is. They got either gray eyes or green eyes. One of my my father's sister. The rumor is, I shouldn't be saying this on on YouTube. I hope my family doesn't see this, but I mean, it is what it is. Michael Bivins' father is she was able to take Michael Bivins away from Michael Bivins' mom's because of her being light skinned with green eyes.
Like I said, man, when you grow up around beauty, that shit ain't no fucking flex to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Black Cleaner, real quick, and I'm gonna tell you one more thing that triggered it. I got 3 siblings. I'm the youngest. It's me, my older brother, and my older sister. At least my sister knew how her father looked or had some type of recollection. My brother actually had his father in his life, and he buried his father. But when it came to me, it was like nothing. Like no trace, no nothing. And I went out my teenager years and 20s. It was a thought in the back of my head, but I didn't really let it bother me too much. It was when I started getting older and I started to like wonder, like, who is my father? Like,
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Did you ever get to seek that out and truly find out, bro?
Say that again, King.
Did you ever get to seek that question out?
Yeah, so when I started grilling my mom, like, well, do you know what his full name was? Like, can you tell me what happened? Like, do you know where my grandmother might live, or do you know where any other relatives might live? And, based off a lot of things that she said she was going through, because she had me when she was 30 years old. So, 1992? So, I was born in 92. So, she been going through things since like the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So, but fellas, I really feel like my mom don't want to tell me something because whether it's embarrassing or it's too traumatic or she don't want to relive it or, so maybe it's something that she's keeping out that's not giving me the information. You know what I'm saying? Not what she remember, but just if I ask too many questions, it's going to trigger a timeline of something that she don't want to relive.
Of course. I mean, because we're grown now to understand how we were just talking about it earlier, how we deal with women. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
She just doesn't want to, embarrass, or shame you in that regard. Like, as I said, when my mother or when my father told me the story or when everybody done told me the story. My father told me his version of the story. I didn't hear the version of the story from my mom because she passed away. And then I heard the version of the story from my aunt. But then I heard the version of the story from my brother. And then I was able to put 2 and 2 together. And I'm like, hold up. Oh, y'all meant to tell me I'm a love child? Just like Ronan said, I was the side baby? And it's like, yeah, that's what it is. But they don't want to. But of course, they're not trying to say it in that manner because, of course, I'm the child. So they have to dress it up or they got to doctor it up to make it.
Especially when you're the youngest.
Embellish it. Exactly. But it's like, nah, I was the result of a one night stand or a fling, and they don't want to tell me that. But
and look,
it is what it is.
I got the same story. My mom told me I was based off her addiction and the things she was doing around that time. I'm not gonna say maybe. She didn't really say it verbatim, but it's giving P work. You know what I'm saying? It's giving P work. So I was born out of that life that she was living. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of gave me the recollection. Like, I see why every time you caught up with that man who was supposedly my father, it was be you crazy, that ain't my baby, F out my face, etc. You know what I'm saying? So she said, you know what? I give up. I just got to take my kids and raise them the best way I can.
Got you. Let me bring Charlie Chan to the stage. What's going on, Charlie
Shout
Chan?
out Charlie
How
Chan.
you doing?
Man, it's a blessing. It's a blessing. Just look, man, happy to be here, man. How y'all brothers living? Shout out to y'all. Black Cleaner, Food King, Ronin Travelers, as well as Foreign Skies, man. How y'all brothers living?
What's up, Charlie? Salute, brother.
Blessed and highly favored.
What's up, man?
Salute,
we
Charlie.
We here politicking, talking about Father's Day. Do you have? Yeah, you said you have some children, so happy belated Father's Day to you, fam.
Well, I appreciate that, but it's a severe correction. Children means
child. I know. We both have one child, a daughter.
I only got one. Yes.
Like, don't you jinx me, bro.
I got some homeboys. No. What did it say? Don't wish that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't wish that on me. But
Ricky Bobby
got some homeboys that they call their kids like a spade game. Like I got 3 and 2 possible. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. I just didn't want to.
And happy Juneteenth, fellas. Happy belated Juneteenth to all y'all. I meant to say that when I came in the panel. My bad.
Right, you good, bro. That's a new holiday.
Freedom Day.
Right. We ain't been celebrating that all our lives.
Yeah, but it's still important to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
We were celebrating it. You don't remember all them cookouts you was coming to? That was in June, bro.
Yeah, it was in June, but it wasn't established as Juneteenth.
It was. You just didn't know. Okay, the Kite Festival. You remember the Fight Festival?
The Kite Festival? Yeah, I remember the Kite Festival.
That was also a Juneteenth celebration.
But it wasn't presented like that, is what I'm saying, Cuzzo. It's like a whole different thing in this day and age that like Juneteenth is an actual thing in this day and age.
No,
it wasn't like that.
It wasn't an official holiday until what, 2 years ago, but we still celebrated it as an unofficial holiday. That's basically what they're saying.
Right.
So when did they make it federal?
Right.
2 years ago.
That's the question.
Oh, okay.
Biden made it official. That was, instead of giving us reparations, he gave us the holiday.
Oh, okay.
I want the reparations, nigga. Fuck the holiday.
Yeah, I call him President Robot.
So we spinning the block. Charlie Chan.
Spin the block.
We want to hear your story. So how has your father being present or absent, how has he affected you? What's your backstory?
Take your time, Charlie Chan.
I don't know. I think that's well, here's the thing. I'm gonna drop down and come back up on my phone because I think my computer got a lag as always. So give me a second. I'm about to come right back up on my phone. I think this is a very interesting topic that you have going, and I think we could go levels deep. Pause. You know, I'm really shying away from the pause.
Bro, you ain't got to pause on daddy, bro. We grown ass men, bro. We gotta stop doing that shit. And I wish that grown ass men would stop doing that shit just because you say some shit.
You know how this new generation is. I'm hungry. A nigga gonna say pause. You know what I mean?
Boy, you eating a hot dog?
So, yeah. I'm gonna come right back. In fact,
nigga, that's too much. I don't want to have to think about pausing just because I said some shit. And I'm a heterosexual male. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Pause every time I gotta. Come on, man. That's too much.
I hear you.
Go ahead, Charlie Chan. You was elaborating on something.
He
dropped out. He's gonna come back in.
Dropped down for a sec. He'll be back up. But
right, the shit be happening on these platforms. It's all good.
commercial break. We'll play this little video. Let me know if y'all can hear it. Put a 1 in the chat.
That's right. The kid can't read. That's mama fault. That is mama fault. Now, if the kid can't read because ain't no lights in the house, that's daddy fault.
Yeah.
He got this shit down. See.
Hey, yo, I'm about to end my down real quick.
What do y'all say to that?
It's all facts.
Absolute
Ain't no
truth.
lies in that
Oh,
comedy.
facts. That shit is so funny, but it's not funny. And that's the real.
Yeah,
That's
You
man.
seen something, Ronan?
That
Huh?
shit is crazy, man.
No, you was finna say something.
No, it's all facts what he's talking about right there. Every bit of it. Hold on, I got I was downloading
But real quick before you let Charlie Chan go, because the mothers have the kids. That's why. That's one of the reasons why it's like that, because the women bear the kids.
But is that fair to us just because they bear them? That
It's not. It's
in
not fair.
separation you get to keep them?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Hey, it's a woman's choice to have them, and then you get condemned because they chose to have them, even though you might not know that woman. That's the other
Damn.
problem.
So how are we condemned and the overall decision is not based on us?
Because the woman bring the love and the man's supposed to bring the structure.
Because of society and the way the laws are built. That's how.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I can
But
agree
hey,
with that one.
I brought up two pictures at the
Links,
bottom.
yeah, I saw them.
You can pull
Which
up
one
a
did
couple.
you want me to go with
Pull up a
first?
couple, the two, the one that has the two people in it.
All right, you want to go with that one first?
Yeah. So
There you-
that right there is my mother. And that's my brother's father. She's 19 in that picture. Get what I mean?
Yeah, that's a nice picture, Ronan.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you supposed to do? You
That's
deal with
your
that.
people?
Yeah.
That's your mom and dad?
That's my mom and my brother's dad.
That's your mom and your brother's dad. Nice.
Mhm.
Your mom is beautiful, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mom is
But
super
like
beautiful.
I said, when you go around that environment, like even with you guys, you grew up around people that are light skinned, light eyes. That's what you're used to seeing. It's not a flex when you bump into another chick that looks like that.
Mhm.
You just somebody from the family, as far as you're concerned.
Damn, bro, you creating conversation of skin texture and all of that all over again, talking like that.
But it's real, you know. Niggas got a problem with that shit, bro.
The second one.
My
Yeah,
bad,
that's
you
just-
guys.
Yeah, that's
You guys
just another
didn't-
picture. That's a beauty shot of her, but you know, she did print modeling. She did that. Matter of fact, I brag about my mom she worked in the Playboy Bunny clubs, man. She
Okay.
taught those girls how to do the bunny dip.
I can't.
You get what I mean?
Yep.
So I came
Alright.
from that environment.
Yeah.
Ran the numbers. She used what she had. She knew she was smart and beautiful all at the same time.
Okay. So Charlie Chan, we back up to you. But let me say what's up to True Prodigy. But we're gonna let Charlie Chan go. How you doing, True Prodigy?
My bad.
What's good with y'all, man?
I'll mute down
Okay,
right
okay.
now. Okay.
We're gonna let Charlie go first because we want to hear Charlie's backstory.
Yeah, I guess every superhero or villain have an origin story, right? What make them
Yep.
them? Well, my thing is, fortunately, unfortunately, however you guys want to look at it, I never got a chance to meet my father, but I have had, especially growing up in the South, I have had some outstanding black men in my life, and showed me how to stand on business, showed me
Right.
what a real man looks like, and fortunately, that's what happened in our community. You don't just have to be the actual father to be a father figure. That's why those words are in the order that they're in. So I was fortunate enough to grow up around some real men. So there's that. When I was like 12 or 13, my mother thought something was wrong with me. And she was like, she sat me down. She said, "Why you never asked about your father?" I said, "I know everything I need to know." She said, "What do you know?" I said, "The nigga wasn't there. What else I need to know?" You know what I mean? But as I got older and I got a chance to experience life and have a child of my own, i.e., a baby mama, I understand it's not cut and dry like that. It's not just all the time a nigga didn't want to be there. It's not all the time that this nigga was a deadbeat dad. It's not all the time to where it was what you call it, Ronan, a one night stand. I mean,
Love child, yeah.
yeah, love child. It's not all the time that. Sometimes, from our own experience, gentlemen on this panel, the woman that you got pregnant is not the same woman that gave your child life. Those become two different individuals. So it's a lot of times to where the woman runs the man off. It's a lot of times to where men have to throw their hand in the air and be like, you know what, I done all I could do. Instead of letting this destroy me, I just gotta let you forward with me. So I look at it from both sides. So that's the good and the bad of my story. But I land there. I mean, if y'all want, I could keep going. It's just like not much to it.
I don't know if Black Queen is there.
Yeah, but go ahead, give me your origin story, True, since we're waiting on Black Cleaner.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna be up here too long. You know, I still got a job or whatever. I still got stuff I gotta do. I'm not in the age where I can retire like y'all. But
Damn.
So
That's a shot.
Right. That
no
was a shot.
offense, no
We
offense.
call some strange for nothing.
No offense. I'm just saying, I'm still young. I gotta bust my ass, man. I can't retire in the Philippines and fucking sip pina colada and chill with a Filipino. I can't do that shit. I'm mad. You know, I'm hating right now. It's all good. But look, so this is pretty much my origin story, right? Now, I don't have I have a love-hate relationship with my pops, right? I love my pops because he took me, my mother wasn't really fit to be a good mother, right? And my father realized that, and he already knew that. So he said, you know what, let me get my kids from this woman since she's not fit to be a good mother, and let me do my job as a father to raise my kids, you know. So that was his mindset, and I always respect and appreciate my dad for having that mindset, because I'm from the South, but I was living in the deep South with my mom, and I was on a one-way track. You know, I used to rob and steal and all that stuff when I was 10 or 11. So I would have, it would have been bad if I would have stayed in that environment. So when I moved with my father, he put me in a better environment, like middle class or whatever, right? But it's when I was younger, I used to respect and admire and always look up to my dad, you know. But as I got older, I started to resent him more and more, because he used to put more pressure on us growing up, right? And he used to, and when I say pressure, he used to make us do stuff for free. You know, he used to say very hurtful rhetoric towards us. I remember one time, it was something that I didn't do right. I don't remember exactly what year it was or how old I was. It was so long ago. But he told me something that I never forget. It still stick with me to this day. He literally told me that I was like a waste of a seed, you know.
Damn, so, brother, I hate you had to go through that, good brother.
Yeah, he said that. And when he said that was when the hatred started. Hatred started, right? That was when I didn't really respect and admire him as much. Because here's the thing. Another thing that I realized is that my dad got 11 kids, and 7 out of the 11 stayed with us, right? You know, we was all in one 4-bedroom house. So it was a lot of pressure on him to perform and to provide for everybody, right? So I had to, when you get older, you take certain things into consideration, and you I understand you had it hard as a man, you know, but it's still certain things that you shouldn't do to lash out. You know, he was under all that pressure, and sometimes he would put his hands on people, sometimes, and it wasn't really for a good reason. You know, let's just say my brother, you know, he went in the kitchen to get some cereal, right? And my dad said, you don't nobody get cereal around this time, but he do it, and he wasn't supposed to do it. But since he did that, and since he was under that stress, since he was going what he was going through mentally, he ended up lashing out and putting his hands on people. You know what I mean? It wasn't warranted for you to do that, you know? So it's I still love and respect my dad. I talk to him, but I don't talk to him like that. You know, and it's just when you grow up, I just understand the hardships of a man. When I was younger, I didn't really understand it that well. I just knew that, man, I'm doing all this work and he ain't really paying me nothing, you know, or you know, I'm just doing everything he's telling me to. I'm trying to perform as a young man, but he's not really giving me the respect and admiration that I think I deserve, right? And it's because of what he got going on. It's 7 kids in one house, and his ex-wife isn't really doing anything to help support, right? It's the burden is all on him, right? To where he's doing underhanded stuff to help support, you know, the family. I'm not gonna say exactly what he was doing. It wasn't nothing like selling drugs, but it was illegal stuff. But
yeah, we can leave it right there.
I just,
brother.
Yeah, man. I just understand. You know what I mean? So I still love my dad, but I don't. You know, I don't really talk to him like this. Some of the stuff he did, I still have a little bit of hate in my heart, but it's not to a point where I just resent him entirely. You know what I mean? I still, you know, just have a little bit of hate. But that's all I wanted to say on that. But yeah.
No, man, I'm sorry you had to go through that, brother.
Well, I still love him though, like 100. I still talk to him here and there, not
But
really, but here and there.
Nobody should have to,
you know, just so he'll know, you know.
Them life though, you know what I mean? Nobody like say I didn't heard people tell their family members, "Oh, your mother should have swallowed you. You a waste of skin." And
yeah, I just had a woman yesterday on a live going off talking about a brother saying the same shit. Your mother should.
Yeah, that's stuff that you shouldn't tell a child. Now, I'll say this last thing, and I bid you guys to do. Like I said, I got to dip out. I just wanted to chime in on this topic, but it was an experiment that I don't know if they were scientists, but it was like a glass of rice with water in it, and there was a glass of rice. It was 2 glasses of rice with water inside, right? And it, on one cup, they would yell and curse and curse the cup out. You know, like they would just say all type of derogatory terms to this cup on the right hand side, and to the left hand side, like to that cup, they would be kind. You know, they would say a lot of uplifting things about that cup. And over time, you've seen how like the rice would progress, right? Like the right hand cup, the rice would like mold and it would like degrade or whatever. And then on the left hand cup, the rice would actually stay the same, you know? So, and you guys could look this up if you want to. I'm not really doing it justice, you know, trying to explain exactly what I've seen, but I think that's the effect that, you know, parents give to their children when they don't really know how to control their feelings and just lash out, right? Like that like what they feel, it never really leaves them. This is pretty much what I'm saying. Like the effects of their rice, you know, that could actually affect a human being the same way. All that derogatory stuff that the individual was saying towards the rice, that person could have that same type of effect. You know, like they could still harbor it. Like some people never hear from that stuff. So I just wanted to say that, you know, you guys could look that study up if you want to. It was a real study, but that's really all I got, man. I bet you guys to do. Peace out.
Right, shout out to you, bro.
Shout out to you, brother.
If I may, I think he was really touching on something. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is, a lot of us believe that we're not going to be shit because our environment told us that we're not going to be shit. So we internalize that for so long till it just become a part of our belief. That's why a lot of times, man, dying early, bro, I was completely surprised to get to 25 years old because my teachers, my family, people at my church were telling me that, man, you can by 21, you're going to be dead or in jail. They used to call it hell or jail. And I had become to embrace. I'm like, well, shit, since I'm not going to be here for a long time, I might as well make it a good time. And fortunately, some things happened in my life that helped prolong my life. And now that I realized that I could get old, I'm like, damn, that shit really affected me. So I think True Prodigy was touching on a lot of very, very truthful points.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hold on. He was talking
Fellas,
about.
can y'all see my avatar, or is it like a white circle?
No, we can see your avatar.
Okay.
That's you in the suit or something, ain't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just making sure y'all can see me in my new suit. Okay, all right.
That's what's
All right.
up, brother.
Dapper Dan. Hold on. Since he brought this up, let me, because it's funny that he said that because I had this. I wasn't gonna show it today, but because True Prodigy did touch on it, it made me want to show it now. It's pretty much what he was talking about. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Is it playing?
Yeah, we don't hear anything right now.
No, not even a little bit.
Nah, Black Clinic, we're not getting it right now.
You're not? Hold on.
Nope.
Hold on a second. Oh, okay. I see why. Hold on. Shoot. Y'all see it now? Yeah, y'all see it good. Because I can see it on my screen. Let me start it from the beginning.
Up to, it grew towards the sun 3 times faster than the one that nothing happened to. And this just shows you the power of words. Words.
I hate when that happens. Hold on. I'm getting it, y'all. Man, and team.
There's this experiment that he did, right, with 3 apples. And one apple, you talk to it crazy. The other apple, you fill it with love, and the other apple, you don't say anything to it. The one you talk crazy to will decay like no other. And it shows the power of words. And that clip right now is going kind of crazy. Can you talk to me about the power of words and what it does?
Hebrew, it's called abracadabra, meaning I create what I speak, or what I speak will manifest. And it was a Japanese scientist who did this experiment first. And what he did is he did it with water, and he did it with plants. They spoke hate to one plant. They spoke love to another plant. The other plant, they just let it do what it do. The plant that was spoke hate over, it died. The one that was actually spoke love to, it grew towards the sun 3 times faster than the one that nothing happened to. And this just shows you the power of words. Words are very, very powerful. I create what I speak. And if this don't show you that we are in fact gods, then I don't know what. In the beginning, God said, let there be light. In the beginning, God said, and there was. It shows you that we are children of the Most High, which makes us God. We bear God's last name, and we bear his image and his likeness, which is all the characteristics and the power and potential that it possesses. Because when we create, we speak as well. That's why I don't use words like you make me sick, because you're going to end up sick. Or, oh man, you almost gave me a heart attack. You're going to end up with a heart attack. So we got to be very, very careful how we speak to each other and how we speak to ourselves. There's a passage in the book of the Bible that says life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those that choose to eat the fruit thereof. So this is not something new. It's just scientists within the last 50 years are finally showing and proving this in real time, that what you speak creates reality. Dr. Bruce Lipton talk about this all the time. It's called the biology of belief. Well, you can speak and believe something, and it'll change your actual biology of your blood and your DNA.
What y'all think about it?
Real quick. So when they say
apple, you talk to it crazy. The other apple.
So when they say sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt me, is this just some BS? Because that's like kind of contradicting or going against what the video is saying. Like, words are powerful, words have meaning, words can actually manifest. But then you hear a person say, well, if it ain't physical, then it can't hurt me.
Well, if I may, you got to dissect that and just not take it at face terms, because those are 2 different things when you think about it. Sticks and stones, but words may never hurt me. That's an outside entity. Somebody else's words may never hurt you, but your words absolutely can hurt you 100%. There's a thing to where your brain could kill you, Foreign Skies. Do you know that?
Yes.
No. I didn't know that.
Stress, being scared to death. That means nobody did nothing to you but scared you, and your brain killed you. There's people that have seen Michael Jackson and died.
Damn.
That's how powerful your brain is. That's why I believe in the saying where they say he who say he can and he who say he can't are both usually right.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, did you ever watch the Nightmare on Elm Street movies?
Yeah.
How basically, the people would be dreaming about something that happened in their dream and would die as a result of it. It's pretty much the same thing what he was just talking about. But to what you were saying, as they say, it's what you feed or what you listen to. Because you could sit there and listen to somebody say something about you, but if you're gonna sit there and internalize it and now it's gonna start to create harm because you're internalizing it and taking it in. But if you choose to ignore it, man, I'm not listening to that. Because there's plenty of people, who are out here who seek to do harm to you, and will seek to, destroy you and, we see it all the time with the comments and, the trolling and all of that stuff that goes on. So it's your choice on, do you choose to look at the comments and, internalize that stuff, or do you choose to close that out? So yeah, it sticks and stones. I mean, words could never hurt you, but it's your choice.
Okay.
In that matter.
And it also depends on who's it coming from, because like what the brother was just saying, how his father was talking to him. My mother talked to me at times like that throughout my upbringing, and it hurts a little deeper when it comes from somebody you love or your loved one. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who basically, made you. You know what I'm saying? Even though it takes a man's seed, she's the one that bared it. You know what I'm saying? So just hearing those things from somebody like your mother, your father, it's like, okay, do I believe it because I'm failing right now? Or is it actually shaping my upbringing to where, like the brother was saying, he kind of started to hate his father, or you start to kind of hate your mother a little bit? Do it make who you are as you grow? Do you let it feed on you throughout your own self, discovery and identity and upbringing and things like that? Or do you let it bounce off you and you don't let it make you or break you?
It's funny. You made me. I always say that. I don't know. We're gonna have to clip that up. How many times I say that? But I was with my brother one day, my younger brother, and me and him was talking about something. I don't even know what we was talking about. But my brother, of course, he always finds a way to flip it into talking about girls. And my father's sitting there and we're talking about it, and then he was able to switch the situation and talk about something sexual, and my father, he got so upset. He looked at my brother, he said, God damn it, if I put your brain in a bird, it'll fly backwards. And the funny thing about it was this, like one of the last times that I actually talked to my brother, because me and him stopped speaking, and he was talking to me about how a lot of the things that, like what True Prodigy was talking about, a lot of the things that his father has told him, now he is starting to internalize, and it really affected him. He's like, he didn't say it to you, he said it to me. It made me want to go out in the back and cry. But when I was looking at the situation, I'm like, but think about what you was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Think about your actions during that time. And it also made me realize, because there was one time, this was during the recession. It was like 2009. I just bought my house in Atlanta, Georgia, and I invited all my younger brother, my and my older cousin to all live in the house. And it was 5 of us all living in the house together. My younger brother, my daughter's mother, my cousin and his girl. We was all living there, and we all lost our job at the same time. So I'm okay, because I'm like, well, shoot, all right, I lost my job, but I'm optimistic about it, because I'm like, well, I got all of this military, experience. I don't got a college degree, but I do got some college. I do have my pest control, certification, so I'll be able to find me a job, no problem. All I got to do is just go down here and, apply for unemployment. And me and my brother, we applied for unemployment, but then we started going to these temp agencies looking for jobs. So the temp agencies having us fill out the resume. And that's when my brother started, because, I'm over there typing and doing, because I know how to type, and, I have, those type of skills. And then my brother's over there, and he's kind of rehashing all of his experience that he has done over the time. And then we sitting there with the recruiter, the headhunter, so she could find us, jobs. And, of course, I'm telling her, yeah, I just prior military, I got logistics experience, I got, I was working at, the call center doing this, that, and the other, and I'm all happy. And my brother's like, yeah, I was working at Stop and Shop. as a produce checkout boy, and I got laid off from there. And I was working at the dishwasher. While he was recapping all of his past experience, you could just hear the sadness in his voice, like, damn, I really ain't do ish with my life. What the heck have I been doing with my life this whole time? And it got to the point where, you know, he just wanted to, like, you could just feel that he wanted to give up. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because, you know, you're mad and having resentment for your father for what he's saying, but at the same time, these were the choices that you made with your life. Your father gave you all of the, because I was there, and me and him would always talk about it. He gave you all of the chances, more chances than any of his other children. My father even told him, he said, you the horse that I'm betting on. You know, win, lose, or draw, I'm betting everything on you. My father didn't give us a quarter of what he gave my younger brother. Okay, all of his other children were raised solely by their mother, including myself. And so all of the rewards, my father raised him solely. I mean, he had he was the one, like what my cousin Keem was talking about, being present. He was present in my younger brother's life. But if you was to look at everybody's life, how they turned out that was raised by their mother, he was the only one that wasn't as successful. But is that on my fault? Is that my father's fault? Is that his mother's fault? Or is that his fault? What do y'all think? Because that's when I was thinking about what True Prodigy was saying, how, you know, he was saying all of these negative things. It made me think about that. It's like, well, what was you doing during that time when he was saying all of this stuff?
Regardless, we got to stop doing that, in my opinion. There's certain things that should never be said to your family. You know what I mean? Especially if your family is a child. We kind of accept very toxic behavior because it's so-called family. Well, guess what? Family be the same one that make you fall. Kingdoms rarely fall from the outside. They generally fall from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that's close to you that tears you down the most. I don't care about what the world say. It's more or less what my family say. These people that's actually supposed to know the true person that I am, the true meaning of the character of me. And for them to say such things, there are some things that cannot be forgiven. That's 100%. And we cannot say, oh, a mom she just was frustrated. Oh, a father had a lot on his plate. No, fuck that. Them still your kids at the end of the day.
But there's also something that's called tough love, Charlie. I mean, okay, if you're doing something, you know, that is, you know, unbecoming of an as we say, an officer, you know, or against, you know, the morals of the family, that's, you know, instead of smacking you upside your head and saying, boy, is you crazy, we gonna smack you upside your head with some words and just, you know, joan you. That's really what's going on at that point in time. But you're gonna, as we were just saying, but now you're gonna get mad at the person who is joning you for the stupidity that you're bringing upon yourself and saying, you're not supposed to say that to me. You're my father.
No, those are two different things. Those are two different things, Black Cleaner. We got to be clear about that. Joning is just joking. Joning is somebody probably critiquing something that you did that was stupid, because we all have done stupid shit. But when you are belittling somebody that literally looks up to you, it is different than tough love. Tough love is you fall, you better not cry, walk it off. That's tough love. Tough love is, hey, guess why you crying? Because you hit him and he hit you back. That's tough love. Those are lessons of life. Tough love is not telling the motherfucker that they worthless. Tough love is not telling a person that, oh, you will never be nothing. Tough love said, man, I'm betting on your brother because you ain't gonna be nothing. That's not tough love, man.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question real quick?
But but hold on. That's what I'm saying. My brother was the one that my father bet on the most. He was saying, later for all them kids, if you never win a race, I'm still betting on you. Basically trying to encourage him, but he still was not as successful. But now he has this kind of resentment because of that.
Okay.
Who has the resentment and who do they have it towards, though? That's the question.
Well, he has it. To me,
your brother,
as I said, me and him stopped speaking. You know,
brother,
but
I'm
we
assuming,
started.
right?
Yeah, but me and him started speaking because of other reasons. But hold on one second. But the fact is, yeah, he has resentment because of what was going on with our father, because as he said, our father was joning him, you know, a little bit, like you said. But at the same time too, he's probably just, you know, resenting life, because we kept on telling him ever since that he was 16, hey, you're not gonna be a baby forever. So, because he's the youngest out of everybody, so he was the baby in the family, and we already know, you know, when you are usually the baby in the family, you're usually looking for other people to step in and coddle you, or you become opposite because you're trying to prove something to the older ones, huh?
That's a big word right there, coddle.
Exactly. Either one or the other. It's either you're trying to keep up with everybody else and show that, you know, you have the Napoleon complex, or you fall into being coddled.
Right.
With him, it kind of was like he fell into being coddled.
Okay.
Let me touch on some things when it comes to fatherhood. And if you could hit that one slide on the far left-hand side, the last image on the left-hand side.
That one?
That's my father, but no, the one next to it on the right-hand side.
Okay, I see you, Pops. I see you.
That's my dad and my mom together when she was talking about getting married to him. But that's not the picture. You keep clicking to the left instead of your right. Like they say in the military, your far right corner.
On the bottom. Okay.
Yes.
No, in mine, it's on the bottom. It ain't on the right. There you go.
There we go. Everybody likes to say 70% of Black mothers and 72% of babies being born are in non-marital relationship because the babies are counted through the mother. Okay. That's about 354,000 births. Just because there's 354,000 births doesn't mean there's 354,000 fathers. Some women are having multiple babies by the same man. The numbers are skewed, gentlemen, especially in our community. A lot of fathers are present in Black families, more so than you think. Because if you let the media tell you, it's all gone awry. 55% of all Black fathers live with their children full time. But you would never know it letting the media tell you. 73% live with their children at some point in time.
Okay.
Don't let Black women fool you into thinking y'all ain't around. We around. Why? Because they put us on child support, right? And part of child support is what? Mandatory visitation. Right? You got to spend time with that child while she's taking your money. Plus, don't she want to go out and do some things for the change that you gave her? Right? Don't let the media fool y'all into thinking that we're irresponsible as fathers. There's a reason why we're the second most sought after race or culture globally behind white people or white men specifically.
Okay? I agree with that.
While we have nightmare stories here and there, most of the time fathers are not necessarily absentee, but they're kept outside the home. But that's over 50-something years of breaking down the system, which is called the Black nuclear family, by the government and other outside agencies pulling us apart because we were stronger together.
Yes, Ronnie, you're right about that. You're right about that. And real quick, because I only got my mother's side, I don't know what happened. If he's even alive or anything to even tell his side of the story. That's another thing. We always get the woman's side. We never really hear the father's side, if you even have the chance to.
Exactly.
Okay.
So while we might be talking in a certain tone that we're blaming, fathers not being present. And then even with that statistic and all the statistics, 354, the prisons, even though you might think they're full of black people, and yes, adversely, we get the worst sentences. There are still more white people in jail than black. There are more white people in the United States than black. We're only 12% of the population, but we're popping up on all the media and all the news as the only ones doing something fucked up. That's wrong. They have you programmed to believe that shit.
That's a fact.
We got to break that cycle.
Let's go
When
to
you say we, could you elaborate?
We, black people, and the projection that we give out based on the media putting out projected bad numbers to make it seem like it's one-sided and it's only our culture that don't appreciate fatherhood.
Well, they gotta
when
have
we're in the homes.
Yeah, for sure. Well, here's the thing. One thing, how can we do that when the main culprit of that is the people that look like us? Black people are the biggest haters of black people, from my experience.
Who controls all the media sites? Black or white? No. Answer the question. Who controls all the media sites?
I think that's okay. White people. Okay, not all of them, but majority.
Okay, so who projects our persona globally?
White people. Well, here's the thing, though. See that's another thing too. That's another thing too. We can't now, because the fact of the matter is, like, say I am all for this. We are us and things like that. But it's something. So it's someplace to where we do have to step up and take a responsibility. And I'll tell you.
Yes, I know you can pay child support and not have visitation rights, but that's not 70. That's not a 75% average. That's not a 95. You might talk about 1 to 5% of the people that are paying child support that are not getting visitation on a regular basis. That's insane. I get the fact that yes, you can pay child support and not get paid, not be able to see your child, but that's not normally the case. Sorry about that. Fearless, my brother just likes to throw conflict up in the room, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, what I say about child support?
No, it wasn't you. No, it wasn't you, Charlie. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you could say that, or like, which is a fair point, but at the same time, where do it start though? You know what I mean? If we're looking to the news to tell us about us, we already lost. We already
until we own our own. Guess what? Charlie, we used to own our own black media channels. We used to own our own black magazines. We sold them all.
We ain't sell them all, Ronan, and that's a growth.
Which ones are still out there? Which ones are still out there?
No,
besides the Muslim news.
Destroyed some of them, Ronan. Those are very important details.
Remember Jet Magazine?
You
Jet
don't think that's true, Ronan?
Ebony, all these ones. Jet Magazine, Ebony, all of them been sold.
Yes, and so have many other companies. But what I'm saying is this: we could create our narrative within our own community, within us. So but
like you said, who tells history beside for us? That's what we're sitting here doing right now on this live. Is telling our truth to our history, not the one that's interpreted.
Yes, but a lot of people can't differentiate the two. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like saying, go ahead.
And that's where you have to get on the line and you have to say, look, there's a lot of people that like to do historical revisions to what our real history is. Right? History. So you have to get in and correct. No, that didn't go down like that. No. Yeah, the facts or the dates are right, but the actions within those dates are incorrectly being recorded.
Okay, let me see if I can kind of sum up my point with this. Although I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but it's not going to be the media job. Yeah. It's not going to be the media job to put our community together. It's going to be our job.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So, and once again, like I say, racism is prevalent for sure, but I still think classism take a more shotgun in comparison to that. Classism is something around the world in certain countries to where everybody's the same color. You see what I'm saying? So there's nuances to everything, but at the end of the day, we should look to each other. When all of our elders are passing away, that's our history that's passing away. And who's
right? So who's retelling those stories? Big Mama, all them gone. Granddad gone. Who's retelling those stories? Now it's up to us to retell those stories. Our families are broken up, like Brother Foreign Sky said. Our families are broken up so much, we can't even get together to have a fucking family reunion no more. Nobody wants to hold ties.
Yeah.
There's no unity in the word family.
Let's unpack that a little bit, because I believe the reason is because of the system of that supports the United States right now. You know what I'm saying? As I always talk about this. I even talked about this on your live about this system of job security in these government safety nets, where now people are relying more on that because that brings comfortability into the household versus having the father in there, and the father's over there, you know, trying to run a tight ship and getting everybody to work together to create their own security and their own self-sufficiency. You know, because
by the way, I did drop the link in the private chat. If you got time to play it, it's a little short clip, but it talks about presence and fatherhood.
Okay. Hold on. Wanted to get some of these
Go ahead
comments.
and finish your point. Yeah.
But I was just saying, because as you can see, like, anytime you have the father who wants to be there and, you know, instill the self-sufficiency, because this guy is a hard head or the drill sergeant, and because I've experienced that myself, you know, I'm over here and I'm trying to say, hey, if we all work together, we just, you know, put our head down and, you know, buckle down, in 10 years, we'll be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Nah, I'll just take the child support.
Of course.
But I'll just take the welfare and the food stamps. And it's like, you know, that the safety net is not going to be here. You need to be able to learn how to, you know, wean yourself off of this system, because God forbid something happens and they kick you off, or it's not there anymore for whatever reason. What are you going to do then?
Right.
And, you know, a lot of people will just say, they'll just ignore what you're saying and still stick with what's going on with the system, because that's all they know. What do you say to that?
Who you talking to?
All of you all. It was a question, because everybody's saying that there's no unity, and I'm saying the reason that there isn't no unity is because of this system. Everybody's relying on this system, but the system only gives you enough to be able to survive. It doesn't give you enough to be able to live and thrive.
Yeah, they keep you on the hamster wheel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a double-sided coin, because that doesn't just relate to, you know what I mean, race or anything. That relates to finances. Like, you would think, like, if you do, there's safety in numbers when it comes to certain things, but in finance, it's actually the opposite. That's why 5% of the population, top 5%, have more than 95% of the population put together. You see what I'm saying? So I guess it's when you think about what everybody else do, is it really, you know what I mean, in the best interest to do what everybody else do? Because what everybody else was doing when we was growing up got us to where we at now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But what
Charlie, but that's
everybody
your
was doing,
environment too, though, Chan. Because once you look at your environment and the person next to you and the person in front of you and the person that's in the back of you is all going through some of the same similar things based off your environment, your financial capacity, and like the things that you can actually do, like jobs and opportunities and stuff like that. You're already conditioned to do what the next person is doing in your environment. And it takes a very strong mind, like Black Clean was saying, wean yourself off. It's already conditioning you to get on welfare, to put that person on child support, to go get food stamps benefits, to do all of these things. So it's kind of hard to, not fall in that hamster wheel like everybody else.
Is it though?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, to me it is, because so many of our Black people who are in undeveloped neighborhoods or neighborhoods who don't get any development anymore have been through that hamster wheel. Like many Black people.
Do you know some of the greatest leaders of our community come out of those same squalors that you was just describing?
I agree with that, Chan. I agree with that.
So wouldn't it, with that being said, wouldn't it be boiled down? Yes, more people make wrong choices than the people that do, and myself being one of them. But we just can't blame it on circumstances and situations, because there are people that come from worse situations than all three of us and have made a great person of themselves.
I agree. But Black people always got an answer for it. Oh, well, you know why we went through that, because the white person did this, and then, all the factory jobs left out of the neighborhoods, and all the white people took their businesses, and then redlining came, and then segregation and all that came, and then we couldn't move nowhere else. We couldn't get no apartments nowhere else. We couldn't make no money nowhere else. So now we all packed into the slums, and then here they go saying, well, if you need some help from the government, we got some food stamps for you. We're going to put you on some Section 8. You only got to pay this. Your rent going to be $82, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. But you can't have a man in the house. It's always going to be a reason why we were or are where we are.
Is that a reason or is that an excuse?
I don't feel like it's an excuse.
Go ahead, brother.
It definitely feel like it's an excuse, because with everything that you were just saying, there was all reasons why we can't make it, and those are valid. But my whole standpoint is, let's focus on the reasons why we can make it.
I agree.
See what I'm saying? Because once we focus on what's holding us back, that gets stronger. You see what I'm saying? Oh, and to give us an excuse for failure.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
Because you was held back when there's people out there that came from worse situations than we have and then made it to the heights of success. What excuse do we have?
And that's what make me question myself. You can go ahead, King.
I think King just dropped down.
I'm listening right now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Now, with that, I land. I just wanted to, like, say, we just gotta. I get that, but when we telling, and that's why I say words are so powerful, because when we telling the people that's up under us, well, we was dealing with this, so it's okay for you to be a failure. It sounds different than look at all the shit that we done came through, and we still on their ass. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Right here on Cleaners Live, my daughter asked me one time when she was younger. She said, "Dad, why do white people hate black people in America?" I said, "Baby, I can't really tell you, but I can tell you I understand." She said, "What? You understand why?" I said, "Yeah, because they have 400-year head start, and they got a lot of us tracking them down, hawking them down. If you're not from down south, you don't know what hawking a motherfucker down means.
Mm-hmm.
But we hawking them down."
Mm-hmm.
When I go in those lounges and I see well-to-do black people in that motherfucker, it makes my heart smile.
Yeah, that's power.
You see what I'm saying? But these people are not telling themselves why they can't be goddamn successful. They telling themselves why they should be successful.
But you know why, Chan? Because they so deep in it. They so deep in the trauma. They so deep in the generational curses. They so deep in my environment. I can't get out of this. I don't see a way out. They're so deep in it. They don't see what the next man see. They don't see what the next woman see. They see, yeah, you had the brain capacity, you figured it out. But my setup, what I got going on over here, even though you was worse, I'm in a worse mindset than you is. And my outlook on my options, it don't seem like I got a way out, even though you was worse than me and you made it.
Hey. But bro, one thing we not gonna ever be able to shake and we need is numbers.
What happened, Black Kenya?
We need numbers.
Elaborate.
Our people. We need our people in numbers.
Y'all really got me playing the Joker on here tonight, don't it?
No.
What you mean? Why are you playing Joker?
Because it's like I'm pushing back on everything everybody say, and it's only because I strongly disagree. We don't need numbers. We need examples. Reason why my history is the way that it is.
Yeah, we need that too.
No, because the examples is what made the doughboys out there. You got to understand that the examples is what made the P's out there. The example is what made the hustlers out there. That's why when Martin Luther King said he ran his people, he took his people to a burning building, that's what he meant. Because when he did desegregation, all of the well-to-do black people moved out. So guess what? We don't have doctors to look up to no more. We don't have lawyers to look up to no more. We don't have principals to look. Not in the neighborhood, not like that.
Why would they be in the neighborhood?
Right, I got doctors in my family, bro.
No. What I'm saying is this.
No, here's the thing. What history taught us. History taught us with Greenwood, Black Wall Street, and all that. History taught us when we stand out and we're successful, they come around and try to knock us back down.
Yep, and that's why these niggas. That's why these niggas rather be mediocre than the guy going up the ladder.
Listen. History taught us not to peacock for the ones that are successful and want to be around, because when we do and we stand out, they come trying to find a way to knock us down a peg or two. Now, the ones that have peacocked and continued that tradition, those dope boys, the pimps back in the 60s, those are all the ones that were peacocking and all the ones that are being held up high right now. Just like your sports people, your people in the industry. Those are the ones standing out front right now that you think are community leaders, but they're really not.
No, they're definitely not. But Ronan, you didn't debunk my point of anything.
I'm not debunking it.
Okay. That's what I thought you was doing. You were debunking.
No. I'm not debunking it. You're absolutely right. But peacocking has taught us that, and when we stand out too much, history has shown us they will try to find a way to tear us back down.
Alexa, stop.
Yes, so why would we want to stick out like that to where you knew our names? Some of us do want our names out there, and a lot of people don't. They will do things, sponsor things. They will pay off whole tuitions for a whole graduating class, like the one brother did during his commencement speech he did.
Robert Smith, shout out to him. Very smart brother.
But do you hear his name out there like that? Is he?
I don't even know who that is. I don't even know who that is. I know more pimps. I know more pimps and drug dealers than I know lawyers and doctors.
Thank you, Foreign Skies, because you just.
And guess what, Foreign Skies? And guess what, Foreign Skies? To go with that, I bet you'd have been to more goddamn funerals and court dates than you'd have been to weddings and graduations. What are we talking about?
We talking about real shit tonight, Charlie. Okay. So keep talking because I love it.
Okay, so when we talk about the community, let's look at it as all cumbersome. Let's look at it as, let's not let your goddamn it, your death day be your best dress day. You see what I'm saying? Only time I done got a chance to see some brothers in a suit was in a casket.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this: instead of focusing on what's holding us back, let's focus on what's pushing us forward. Because guess what? We are getting pushed forward slowly but surely, and there are black people out there that is doing extremely well.
Yeah, the train moving little by little.
Little by little, there's black people out there that's doing extremely well. In regard to what Ronan was just saying, yes, peacocking is actually a thing to goddamn it, to bring attention. In fact, so much so if you look throughout history and black folks in history, they say not only did black people have to win, they had to win with a humility. They couldn't celebrate. They had to win with a humility and walk off and not celebrate in front of people because it was unbecoming of black people. You see what I'm saying?
Back then we couldn't show. Right now, even in this day and age, we can't show our hand to nobody.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's been people that went against the grain. You know who went against the grain back then and history fucking lied on? Madam C.J. Walker. She wasn't the first black millionaire. In fact, the actual person that came up with the hair products had more money than them. She was the first person to openly flaunt her wealth as a black person. That's why we see her. That's why we see her in the car way back then with her and 3 of her friends in the motherfucking car with a mink coat on. She was peacocking.
Yes, she was.
Come on, man. I land there. Somebody else take the reign here because I feel like I'm finna run this plane to 12.
No, Chan, you good because you spend that wisdom. But why, for all of our history, right, or majority of it, I'm not talking about Black Wall Street. I'm talking about way after that. Why is the grinocracy always been louder than our accomplishment as far as our black men and our black women? The history's out there. A lot of it's been covered up. And if you do some deep digging, you can find historical key moments between black women and black men who were smart lawyers, doctors, mathematicians, all of these people who have kind of paved the way for us. But the grinocracy, the pimps, the thugs, the drug dealers, the kingpins, it's always been louder and a heavier influence on us as a whole. I'm not talking about who dibbled and dabbled in it and who didn't, but it's always been louder than those people.
Coming up. Because that's how you hide some shit. That's how you take credit away from where it's really deserved at, man. Like, black people got over 100 inventions that are used every day. When you turn your light on, that old school light bulb, come on, us, man. We deserve our credit for that. And we ain't been given credit for that because, these motherfuckers know how to steal your patent and change just one little thing to make it theirs.
Yeah.
But once again, it falls back to what I was saying before. The system. The system is. If you ever look up the term rich, okay, in the dictionary, it is one who lives off of the earnings of another. That's what rich really means.
Alexa, stop.
So this whole system that they have created is it thrives on someone being a second-class citizen, someone being on that hamster wheel. If there's nobody on that hamster wheel, then the system isn't going to work. So therefore, they have to, as he said, have examples of what they're trying to promote so that there's more people who want to fall in line to be like them. Because the more people who are trying to be the drug dealers, the rappers, the ball players, and all of those things, okay, they're going to fall into that trap of, because there's only going, as they say, there's only a few. How many people are actually in the NBA total?
What, 5,000?
All of the teams that's in, huh?
5,000?
Okay, so you got 5,000 positions in the NBA. Okay, and how many millions of black people are there? You see what I'm saying? So you got
40, 50?
40, yeah, you got 40 million black people all trying to get 5,000 positions. Same thing with the NFL. Same thing with being the next Jay-Z or the biggest rapper or the biggest movie star or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they already know your chances of becoming one of those is slim to none. But as soon as you fail trying to be that, there's nothing else for you to do but get on that hamster wheel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the point. If you hold those people up as your center of Black excellence, not the doctors, not the ones that are owning businesses that are producing millions of dollars and actually giving jobs to people in the community or whatever, then that's what you have to shoot for. 40 million people shooting for those 5,000 to 20,000 jobs between all the different industries you just named.
Yeah, that's
but
what we got.
you allow everybody to think I can do it from any position, whether I'm a plumber, whether I'm the black cleaner, whether I do whatever, and I can make $1 million and establish businesses to where we're all successful. And Felipe brings up a good point. You know, when they started closing manufacturing jobs and factory jobs and moving them overseas, it hurt the middle class.
Yeah, hurt it.
Class.
Yeah.
But then all we went towards was looking at sports, looking at industries that gave us what? Quick money. Not building from scratch again. Again, like I said, we had the Black Wall Streets. We had all those businesses that were successful. We kept the black dollar in our community. But when they keep on breaking that shit down repetitiously, you stop wanting to stick out. But
they
still
burned it down. All of them.
Burned it, flooded it.
But the whole point is
highway through it.
Black people all around you. You just don't see them. You don't pay attention to them because they ain't not trying to be stuck out there like that. They very low key about their success.
But also, can I say one more thing? It has to be something about the upbringing, because in our history, a lot, when we were growing up being taught our superheroes, it was never the Lord. Unless you had somebody like an uncle or your dad, or you seen like your cousin or something being a doctor or a lawyer or a mathematician or something like that. Most men in the household did heavy labor trades. But what we were taught when it came to people who we looked up to, I don't remember knowing no lawyers or no doctors or no mathematicians or none of that. All I knew was what was on TV and what my family told me about. And it was never those people. It was always this rapper that, or back in the day, we're going to say like the 70s and the 80s, Motown music and all of that. We had a lot of musicians that we looked up to. We had a lot of people who was musicians and songwriters and singers and stuff like that who we looked up to. Then outside of your community, you see, I wasn't born in the pimp era, but I'm pretty sure, some of you guys were the pimps, and you see the thugs, and you see, the gangsters and the kingpins and things like that. You seeing stuff that's in your face. So I'm just talking about overall what we were taught, what was in our face, and also what we value.
Okay.
We valued survival back then, bro.
I can understand what he's saying, because but at the same time too, it's what you look for as well. Because I grew up in a neighborhood where there was that, but then also there were the black bankers. There were the black. My mother was one of the black nurses. There were black pastors, and one of the reasons that I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, was because I knew that I wanted my daughter to grow up around black people and seeing that there is a black working class or a black middle class. I did not want her to be around, a white middle class and wanting to be like them, because that's what happens. Kanye West said it best. They teach you to hate yourself and love their wealth. And I didn't want her to, to experience that. So when I moved during high school, I ended up getting kicked out of my high school, and my aunt and them didn't want me to be in a Boston public school because they didn't want me growing up and being a high school dropout or whatever. So they sent me down to North Carolina to be with my older brother, the 6'4" bully, drill sergeant. But when I went down there, I was able to experience a black middle class in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was able to actually experience an actual black high school that had, the facilities that, were equivalent to the suburban high schools that I was going to up north. And I was able to see, okay, well, like what you said, okay, there are black lawyers or there are black nurses. There are, people that are out here that are making good money and live in nice houses and stuff like that. So a lot of times too, it's because of our environment, because a lot of us want to, live in these in these metropolis environments that we fail to see that, if you go a little bit of a half an hour to an hour outside of your metropolitan city, you'll start to see that there are actually people that look like you that are actually doing well instead of being in the concrete jungle.
But see, that's the whole thing. Our community specifically has been programmed not to leave our communities. We live and we born and die damn near in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We don't know how to move around. The passport thing is a brand new thing to a lot of people in our culture.
Yep. And so it's weird with that. But let me get to your
bro talking about why y'all need to leave. It's called life, motherfuckers. It's a planet.
It's called peace.
There's a big world out of here. Yep. And that's one of the things that I always say. There's a big world out here. We need to experience it. And another thing too, just like what you were just talking about, they've been burning, flooding, putting highways through anything that we build in America. So don't you think that if we actually, left America, we would have a better opportunity to actually build a new Black Wall Street that's not going to get destroyed? If we find the right place?
Yeah, you can find your own utopia.
Thank you. So, but let me get to Ronan's link. He been wanting me to play this. Hold on one second.
Yeah. Dedicated to my brother Fearless by his wife.
Shout out Fearless.
With our daughter, I see something powerful. I see her smile. I see her confidence. I see her feeling safe. A present father changes a child's life. Children don't just need things, material things. They need love. They need guidance. They need presence. That's why I always appreciate a father who shows up every day.
We can't hear it.
Present is one of
the
greatest gifts.
I can't.
I can hear it. Hold on.
Shit, it gotta be my phone.
When I watch my husband with our daughter, I see something powerful. I see her smile. I see her confidence. I see her feeling safe. A present father changes a child's life. Children don't just need things, material things. They need love. They need guidance.
You can still hear
they need presence. That's why I always
we can hear you.
A father who shows up every day, because being present is one of the greatest gifts a parent can give.
Yeah,
hey,
so
Black Cleaner, when Charlie Chan come, can you play it for him one more time?
Sure.
Let me drop down.
But that's
to elaborate on that real quick, Cuzzo.
That's coming from my mother and one of our brothers who's married to her, Fearless, and how he cares for his daughter.
Yeah, that sounds like for me, which it should be, a boy's first love should be his mom, and a girl's first love should be her dad.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, I wish it would. Well, I mean, I could say that my daughter did love me at one point in time until she became a teenager.
She still love you, Black Cleaner. Don't say that, bro.
I know. Right. I be seeing her lurking on my stories.
She's stalking you.
Yeah, but when I approach her, she be like, "No, nobody care about you, nigga." I'd be like,
right.
I hit her with the Keem because back in the days, Keem was the smoothest. Like we would be walking in the mall, and he tried to talk to a chick, and the chick will probably diss him or whatever, be like, yo, I got a man, beat it. And King would be like, all right, but you still sexy though. And keep walking. So
Man,
that's what I always
I ain't
do.
gonna lie though, this is powerful because it make me think about myself and being like, sometimes I'm jealous because I didn't really have a father, or I don't know my biological father, or there wasn't much instilled in me when I was growing up. But I also got to think of it like I turned out okay for my own self. I mean, I'm 34 years old. I don't got no kids. I don't got no debt, no child support. I don't got no woman problems. I don't got no record. I got a good paying job. I can travel. I got a passport. I didn't, commit any crimes growing up. Living in Chicago,
Right.
Being a young man, you can fall to that. You know what I'm saying? Being in the streets, gun violence, robbing, killing, or just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I have to kind of give myself a little bit of credit because it's like, you know what? Out of all the things that happened to you and your environment, you turned out okay. And you dodged a lot of things that a lot of brothers don't dodge.
Right.
Facts.
Get that man
ready?
a
Yep. Hold on.
Charlie, can you hear now? Are you good?
Charlie.
Yeah, I'm here. Are you playing it? I don't.
No, I haven't played it yet. We stopped it so that you could hear it. So we're gonna play it one more time.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yep. Hold on.
When I watch my husband with our daughter, I see something powerful. I see her smile. I see her confidence. I see her feeling safe. A present father changes a child's life. Children don't just need things, material things. They need love. They need guidance. They need presence. That's why I always appreciate a father who shows up every day, because being present is one of the greatest gifts a parent can give.
Did you hear it this time?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right.
That's the whole point of your show right there, Black Cleaner. Being present.
Yeah. Shout out to Fearless.
Yep, shout out to Fearless. Let me oh man. Y'all got me. I need somebody to man the boards for real, for real. I'm hiring.
Bro, we can see your face looking at like staring hard. You're gonna make things happen back there.
I am taking applications. For real. I'll be over here like, God damn it, where's all these? Where are my tools at?
Hey, Ronan, you're not dual streaming?
Oh, I'm simulcasting, but I don't have control on his StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, they don't work that way.
Okay.
I would help him if I could.
Yeah, I appreciate the simulcasting and getting the word out, because there's a lot of people in the comments, saying some things. The funny one was when Travel POV said Charlie gonna cry in the car.
Oh shit! I haven't even been watching the comment. What I say to make POV say that?
I guess you was talking about your backstory, and he's all like, "Charlie, you good?" Because you were saying, about what's going on with your father or whatever.
He was talking about your intro, Charlie.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Oh.
Hey man, y'all gotta stop that. They gotta stop that in the chat, man. Let motherfuckers get their story out and express themselves. And I want to be in a panel where I don't gotta say pause. Like, get out of here with that shit. What you mean pause? I'm talking real life shit, man. I don't want to have to say pause to some shit that that's weird as fuck, man. We all grown ass men.
It's just a mindset. The world we living in, everything is gay now. So,
Well.
Yep.
But that's the case though, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
That's weird, man. Like, damn, I gotta fucking say pause because I'm talking about eating a hot dog. That's fucking food. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, that's a fact. I feel you, and I be. That's why I said I wasn't gonna say, but something that's something. I'm still working that out of my system. But what I tell people is this, man. That's more of a them thing than a me thing. If I'm talking about money and you talk about calls, bro, I'm talking about money and getting some money. And you thinking about man on man love. That says more about you than it says about me.
Yeah, it does, man.
Paul,
Yeah.
like nigga, what? Okay, that's how your mind works all day. You fucking pervert.
Right.
Yeah. Some people stop eating popsicles and hot dog. They don't fuck with none of that shit no more because you can't walk down the street eating no damn ice cream as a man. You eating a damn ice cream cone. But people looking at you weird like.
Okay.
Well, I'm lactose intolerant.
Look at me weird.
Ice cream in years, but why is a nigga walking down the street with an ice cream cone anyway? Though that's a little weird to me. But
You see? You see that though, Charlie? Why he just can't eat the ice cream? Why he can't,
Why it can't be a hot day and you want a fucking ice cream cone?
Right.
Get a smoothie. What did you talk?
Listen, when you were a child, you ran over to that ice cream man in that truck and you got your ice cream and you ate that shit right there on the fucking street. Why all of a sudden is it whole pie to eat a goddamn ice cream?
Right, poured out a damn banana boat.
When I was a child, I used to swim in the creek too, Ronin. I don't do that
And
no more
people
neither.
still do that too if you can find a clean one nowadays.
Yeah.
But Charlie, why is it weird though?
Because our mindset has changed. That's why. Society's mindset has fucking demified everything that is normal. They demified it in some way, fashion, or form.
Right. Or remember when we used to go in the store and eat them it used to be hot outside and like you go in like the little freezer part, like the it's like the long icy like the flavored icy. Yeah, those. That long ass thing, that tube that you have, and it be like ice, you get blue, red, green.
Yeah.
Motherfucker don't do that no more. Talking about boy. You come out the stove
I'm just
sucking on that
because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? But I'm like I said, I'm just talking crazy right now. But it's just something that I'm just not gonna do.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care about none of that. That same popsicle I'm eating right now in this moment. While I'm eating that shit, I will sock the shit out of you.
First of all, I'm a fucking man at the end of the day. If you don't know that, then you got a fucking problem and you just don't know me.
Yo, I remember
what the fuck I'm doing, it ain't gonna be in no gay manner, form, or whatever. So even if it comes out my mouth, it ain't meant or intentionally said in a way where it refers to me being gay.
It's the image though, Ronan. It's always about the image.
Then you have to question the men that have that image in their head. Why are you fucking thinking like that shit?
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I do.
You thinking some homophobic? Like, come on, bro, get out of here.
And that's another reason why a lot of cats be in jail based on image and respect. We was talking about that on Vacation Time with Ryan's. You know, a lot of people will die on their image, you know, and their respect, or they will kill for their image and respect. And that's one of the biggest booby traps that the system has set up for us. Yeah. Just for what you're talking about. And I guess that was one of actually one of the biggest lessons that I learned in Foreign Skies. You remember the story about, you know, when I was talking about when me and my friends went to go do the mission.
Yeah.
And I ended up, you know, we ended up doing the mission, but in the end, you know, they turned on me. And I was like, you know something, why the hell am I with these cats? Because I ended up leaving. And what happened? They ended up keeping on trying to prove themselves and trying to gain that respect. And they ended up in jail. And because I didn't give a damn about my image and I didn't give a damn about the respect, I ended up joining the military and going into Japan. So I ended up skipping that booby trap. And that's
one of the smartest decisions you made individually for yourself. A very conscious decision to save your own life, freedom or death.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. And that's my blood. So I know the story.
Yeah, he was there. before and after, you know. So
that was the best thing you ever decided to do, Cuzzo.
And it's because I had, you know, male role models around me. Now imagine if I didn't, because my best friend, he was raised by his mother, single mother. He didn't have a father around him. His father was the streets. And what was the streets telling him? You die on your respect. You know, I remember one thing he used to always say. He used to always quote Tupac's, "A soldier,
you live by respect, you die by respect.
Live by respect, die by respect, or a coward dies 1,000 deaths, a soldier dies but once." Those were his two favorite lines. So he always used to be like, no, I'm not going out. If I'm going to die.
And it's also that environmental prove yourself energy.
Yeah. Because really what it is, we all are at that point in our age, you know, in our teenage years, it's raw, untapped energy.
Yeah.
And as you said, you don't have the male role model to show you how to take that raw, untapped energy and make it into something productive. And because I was a little bit fortunate, I did have, you know, male role models to be able to be like, yo, think about that, you know, take a step back and think about that. I was able to make the right decision, because if I wasn't, then I would have done what all my other friends did who didn't have that person to think about. It was just, you know, at that time we was listening to Mobb Deep. We was in that Mobb Deep chant. Time go by, an eye for an eye. We in this together, son. Your beef is mine. As long as the sun light the side up the sky, we in this together. And we rolling down the street, bobbing our heads.
Yeah,
by, an eye for an eye, like we in a trance.
That shit'll turn you to a demon.
We in this together, son.
But hold on. But why we can't separate the music from reality? I have always been able to do that, no matter what I listen to.
We can, but at the same time too, music, you know, it's a form of chanting. It's a form of affirmation. A lot of the times, you know, there's something that we want to
music,
do.
And you started talking about chanting. That's also spell binding.
Thank you. There you go. Because a lot of times when we was playing that, it wasn't because we was in a spell. It was because really we were scared. And we trying to build our confidence up and our courage up to be able to go do it. Go do the thing.
No.
Because you don't want
Black Clean, I'm not talking about what you were. I'm not talking about. Right, but I'm not talking about what you was finna go do. I'm talking about, okay, me. So I'm gonna talk about me. My era is Chief Keef, right? A lot of young dudes and got killed, locked up behind Chief Keef. As far as the music they banging, it sets up a mindset. Also with your environment. Also you battling your own demons. Also you going through what you're going through, and you go rob somebody, or you gang banging on the block, or you kill somebody, or you do something. But this music is like putting a battery in your back. What I'm saying is, I have survived the drill era of Chicago. 2011, 2010, 2012, when shit was hitting the fan, when it was just people dying, young dudes dying everywhere. A lot of that music fueled that stuff. And I enjoy some of the music, but it never made me wanted to go ahead and knock somebody over the head.
Well, you probably had other surroundings around you as well. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, that's all they listen to 24/7. Like even with the whole passport bro culture, I've heard a couple of people say, you know, all I do is stay up and just watch these passport bro videos, you know, wanting to, you know, just live that life. So they're just so, because they're not able to do it at that point in time, that's what they do. That's what they focus on. They go
live it through somebody else.
Exactly. Until they're able to do it on their own. So yeah,
okay.
It becomes, you know, as he said, it becomes spell binding.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I was always able to, like, okay, I hear they talking about killing and drug dealing and women and this and that, but when I go outside of my door, I don't want to hurt anybody. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I think will save my life from the gang life is staying in the house a lot.
Yep. There you go.
I think that's another thing because I didn't really have a lot of friends. Like when I was in high school, I didn't get with dudes who were like heavy gangbangers, and they also had broken up families, and they was on the block, and they was influenced by the girls and the drugs and this mob block, and if this person come over here, we gonna shoot. I never really got into that, but I really started staying in the house when I seen that drill era start coming, and it's like dudes' brains is just fried, 15, 16, 17 years old with guns on their hip, banging Lil Durk. And it's like, you're going to get killed, or you're going to kill somebody, or you're going to go to jail. And I'm seeing so many murders and murders and murders. That shit kind of scared me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, you know what? I'm in the crib. You know what I'm saying? High school to the crib. If I don't got a destination from A to B, I ain't going out.
There you go.
Exactly.
You ain't did nothing wrong. Shit.
You making positive choices for your life. Yeah. You're able to see what the environment is giving out to you. You know you don't want to participate.
Yeah.
This is my standpoint, guys, and I want y'all to chime in on this. I think we need to get as many brothers as we can traveling to these countries, and I'll tell you why. They not gonna want to come back here and go to jail when they see all of the rest of the world
that's a fact
waiting for them. What y'all think about that?
I like it. And that's another reason why they try to downplay us doing it, because of that. Because the people who actually see what's going on, they're like, oh wow. And all it's gonna cost me is $135 to go get this passport, and I can go over here and do this. Sign me up.
Right. I'll go over there. ENA, yeah, for sure. Shout out to my good brother, Mr. Peppers, man, over here showing love. Real quick, too, guys. I'm going live tomorrow. It's been a whole week. Shout out to everybody that reached out to me, because POV reached out to me and everything. Like, that's how I know this thing of ours is a real thing. I done had a couple people reach out. Bro, you good? What you got going? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm going live tomorrow, man. So, y'all pull up. But I'll land there. What you were saying, Black Cleaner?
Oh, we got some of that Charlie Chan, that Tyrone Biggins. Got Charlie Chan TV coming on tomorrow. Okay, cool.
If I could find the video that you said that on, I would make that as a short, man, because that shit was so hilarious when you said it.
Yep. The only reason that I do this is because you haven't been coming on. Like, something. Yeah. Man, let me get on here and start doing my own YouTube. Charlie Chan been inconsistent these past couple of.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't normally go live by myself. I'm usually riding on a team. See? You don't force me to have to come out here and do some shit on my own.
Well, I'm sure we all old enough to know that life can get to life in. You know what I mean?
know. That's why we started doing it. Yep.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you said that, because I was just talking to Keem about that. I said, a lot of you all are living lives. I mean, you, Misha, Ryan, all of you all have regular lives and regular jobs. So you all don't have the affordability to be able to do this. And I was like, something, why don't I do it? Because I really don't have nothing else to do. So, let me get on here and, learn how to do this YouTube thing.
Yeah, Black Panther, we be waiting on you to go live, bro. We'll pull up for sure.
Now, you've been consistent with this Monday thing, so I can't righteously, you know what I mean, talk any shit about it, because you've been definitely consistent, so that's what's up, man. But I'm working it back up, man. I got a lot going on in the background, man. Once it comes to fruition, I'll be able to share it with a couple of the brothers from everybody from this thing of ours, but unfortunately, I won't be able to share it as much with YTF. Just because some things have to be kept under wraps.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, this is my first time on your panel, Black Cleaner, so it's new for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I definitely appreciate you pulling up, because you definitely, added a lot of information, and your story was definitely valuable in this today's topic, because everybody has their own different background and their own different story. How positive, from positive to negative to absent to, you know, indifferent.
Yeah.
So, and that's what goes on in our community. You're seeing everything that goes on in our community right here on this panel and how we're dealing with it. So you're definitely appreciated.
I appreciate you too, Black Cleaner. And it do make me feel good because, you know, it keep reinforces you're not alone. And anything you need to talk about, you got a little brotherhood that you can kind of convey your thoughts to. You know, anything that's really bothering you, even if it's personal, you can talk to one of the guys who then probably been through it, seen it, or can just give you some good advice on it. So it just reinforces like you're not alone, and don't beat yourself up too much because you're doing all right, brother. You're doing all right.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Foreign Sky, I'm so glad that you appreciate that, bro, because that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to try to create and continue, so we can talk about some things and, you know, create some healing and not just talk about nonsense.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I you know, because we kept talking about this over and over again. Every time you go on a lot of these YouTube panels, they're usually talking about the usual thing, clapping cheeks, and I just it becomes mundane and, you know, repetitive. So I was just like, yo, can we just do something else? But I noticed the same thing that we was talking about, like with Charlie Chan TV. He was saying, you know, even if we do talk about it, how many people actually going to want to see it? And when I started doing it, it's right. You know, even Andre, he was saying, yeah, you start trying to support your people, you're going to be left with 212 subscribers. And I'm like, you know something? Andre was right. I'm close to 212 subscribers because I choose to deal with my people. But if I had to choose between these 212 subscribers, putting out positive material, or millions putting out the usual, you know, cheek clapping and, you know, Trickeration Nation and all of that stuff, I'd rather deal with the 212. I'm good with that.
That's a fact.
Hey, Black Cleaner, you know Razor Ray's, right?
Yeah.
His show always lit, right? I was just watching the panel on him, I think, yesterday, and it's always chaos in their bigger travel space of, like, I ain't gonna say no names, but and the bigger travel content creators, it's always beef with who's gay and fighting over women, and you gonna pull up in this country and that country and you ain't do shit when I seen you. And it's like, I get tired of that too, because it's like, it shouldn't be all this inside fighting amongst us travelers. It just shouldn't. It should be a little bit more peaceful, but I feel like it's a little separate. When I come over here, it's peace. Now we have debates. It can get a little, you know, passionate sometimes, but it's nothing like over there when it's just nothing but chaos and just BS, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's a fact. That's why when you have people come to this corner of the internet, they be like, damn, man, it's peaceful over here. Like, yeah, man, we pride ourselves a lot of times having, like, not just discussion, but civil discussions to where we could disagree with each other and still have a intelligent conversation. We don't have to put or you're dumb or you believe in this. No, we don't got to do that over here. Like, your opinion is valid just like mine is valid.
Yeah.
Right.
And you actually get heard over here. People just don't step over your thoughts.
Yo, on some of these panels, man, I've been on a panel where they're like, oh, what's up, new guy? And I just dealt with, I had to go into combat mode.
Yeah.
Like back on the wall, like I'm getting jumped and I got to put my back on a wall and defend myself. Type shit.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that, man. You know, I've been dealing with that type of shit all my life, so you niggas ain't gonna never scare me away. But it be like that on some panels where that's just the basis of what's going on, where it's argumentative, it's combative, it's motherfuckers are just being disrespectful. Like,
And you know what, King? I like say not to cut you off, but as far as that, like I'm cool with it in a certain way because I do understand our culture. You know what I mean? Niggas don't like
Nah.
man. Listen, when I first went on K9 channel, they tried to grill me, bro. Everybody except K9 because K9 know. But guess what, man? I come with my own firepower. So once they see that, oh, we just not gonna run over him. Now they rocks with me. That's just like the first time I went on the panel to support Ronan. It was some dude he must think I'm friendly, yo. I don't want no friend. I said, sir, are you under the impression that I came up here to be a friend? Like, why say this stuff?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. So that's just the community. But what we do over here, man, what I at least try to do and foster, especially with my channel, is it's a positive community, man. As long as we building together, we could chill together. That's why I tell brothers, bro, we can't build, we can't chill, man. I really don't want you in my space personally. Like, come on over to YouTube and get you some entertainment. But as far as us building something together, chilling together, it'll never be.
Right.
And that's another thing, Charlie Chan, respecting people's channels. Like, some people get the wrong impression of Charlie Chan. They think, oh, because me and Charlie Chan buddy and we cool, I can come over here and just act up and say what I want and be, talking over people and, not yielding the floor. And it's like, no, you still got to have panel etiquette.
That's a fact. I like the way you said that too. Panel etiquette.
Panel etiquette. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna start using that. Yeah, panel etiquette. Just show some panel etiquette, guys. So yeah, no, I'm 100% with you. But it's some brothers to where that's how they thrive. It's some brothers that's how they got their name with the BS. If you know, bro, my channel would have been 5 times as big as it is now if I just let it kept rolling with that debate and disrespect type of stuff.
See, but that's that razor raise setup, and you don't want that because that's just bad energy, Charlie.
Exactly. That's why
too much bad energy.
That's like what Black Cleaner said, to have 1,000 people that just come rock with me whenever, just because like whatever, opposed to 300 people that really rock with me that hit my line when they bro you good. I'd rather have 300.
Yeah.
So keep those fence scrattlers over there. Go on over there to where the fence scrattlers be. I want people that's really engaged and locked in over here.
True. Like, I've been on a few panels, man, trying to invite people over, but I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if they're ready for what goes on over here, the intellectual part,
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, some people, they don't want an intellectual conversation. They want chaos. What a chaos at?
No, that's not true. Because I mean,
who into it?
Earn Your Leisure, that's on here, $1 million worth of game, and you have a couple of these panels that even 19 Keys, they do have a good amount of followers. So the name of the game is to make your content good enough to where you're giving out information so valuable that the people are going to come. Those people, because as they say, energy is not created nor destroyed. It's just transferred from one place to another. So you just got to make sure that the information that you're putting out is comparable to all of these people who are putting out the good intellectual information. And that's what I do. I just try to, see who's doing good information and try to make my information comparable to that. Yeah. And I'm evolving. You can every live show I do, I improve.
I'm not close to controversy at all. We need some controversy. We all can't be fucking on the same page and we all yes men and agreeing all the time.
Well, you know what, Keem? It's unique that you say that, because I say that over there on Charlie Chan TV. I said this don't have to be an echo chamber. In fact, I don't want it to be an echo chamber, because if nobody's giving pushback, how do we get a chance to explore other perspectives? How do we get a chance to grow? Because you grow outside of your comfort zone.
That part,
that's what makes it uncomfortable. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, he said that part. Yep, he agrees.
Oh, yeah.
He was being an echo chamber.
Okay.
And how can you learn from other brothers?
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's been a time or two on here to where I gave Avery his props, because Avery said something that I didn't really know, and he put me on game. Like, I'm never too smart to think that I can't learn from somebody.
Can I say this real quick? And this is for Chan, Black Cleaner, and Ronin, y'all have channels. So you never know who's listening. You never know who you're inspiring. And you never know who's on a replay on your streams. As far as they went on the live, but they listening to the replay. So me coming across Ronin with Fearless, they had their channel. They talking about a lot of passport stuff. I listened to a lot of their content. That's how I knew about Ronin. Meeting Black Cleaner through Charlie Chan channel. Meeting Charlie Chan just by him going live one day and he saying something about passport, and I just click it, start listening, start commenting. That's as easy as it is as far as getting on board, finding information, learning from people who you never even knew. But you never know who's listening. You never know who you're inspiring. And just because you got 212 subscribers and only 30 people pulled up, you never know who running back that stream. You just never know.
Exactly.
Right. We might got 112 views on this day, but 2 months from now, how many views we got on that live stream that we just did?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day, yo. This shit is work.
Yeah. That's a fact. And people always want to skip to the can we skip to the good part? But I believe it's something joyous about the journey. It's something joyous about putting in that work. It's something enlightening about the grind.
Gotta put in that pain.
Hold on, Charlie Chan. Because I asked you a question on the panel, bro. I asked you if you would prefer the journey or the overnight success. And you chose the overnight success, bro.
You sure did.
Absolutely. But the context that I put it in, we gotta add some credence to that.
Okay. You're trying to clean it up now.
Clean up house six.
It's not a clean up thing.
You're trying to clean it up.
No, not exactly. No, I'm not, because I'll tell you why. Because of my background. You know what I mean? Because I come up in the streets, I understand how fast money could go. That's why people that rob banks, you'll think if we rob the bank right now, we all got $200,000 a piece, we should be fine. No, chances are more than likely that we're going to have to rob another bank
a month from now.
Exactly.
Not me. I know what to do with 200,000.
There's always outliers, for sure. But I'm just saying, if it comes to, I gotta wait 10 years because, and like I say, it's not cleaning it up, because I can say the same thing that I said that night. Wealth is not measured in money; it's measured in time.
Measured in time.
If anybody want to push back on, I could dive into it more. But let's not fool ourselves. Wealth is measured in time and not money.
Hey, no pushback there. You talked about it the last time.
Absolutely. A couple books that I would recommend: read The Richest Man in Babylon. That's a dope ass book. And far as black wealth, read Black Fortune. It's about the first 7 millionaires after slavery. That's how I know who. What is it? J.W. Curley, the dude
Gurley,
that like say
O.W. Gurley.
O.W. Gurley. When we heard about Madam C.J. Walker and stuff like that, that book's a real dope book, and that's how you know Madam C.J. Walker wasn't the first black millionaire. She was just the first black person to openly flaunt their money. So I learned.
Black Cleaner got 3 dope books out there right now. You know that?
I do. I definitely do. I done promoted his book more than I done promoted my channel.
Didn't know that. I get paid soon, so I'm gonna need some information on them.
Yeah, especially from the Black Cleaner. This nigga right here, man. This nigga's too much.
Are they posted like on Amazon or anything like that?
Yeah, they're on Amazon.
Hey, that brother legit. He just ain't on the corner selling books. They say, man, support my business guy, bro. That brother
yeah, he's selling bean pies. He's selling bean pies in newspapers on the corner.
Bean pies and newspapers.
Bean pies and oils.
Right, no, you selling incense. We got new flavor in the day.
Yeah, but I'm gonna definitely need the information soon, Black Cleaner, so I can get some of your books. Cause I wanna So one of the good things is on my route to work, I work in a place called the Fine Arts Building, and they have a bookstore where you can actually buy books from all walks of life. But also, when I get off the train downtown, I'm right in front of the Chicago Library, and I want to get back to physically reading books. So getting a couple books from the library, get a couple books from our job site, and also get some books from Black Cleaner that can kind of get me started with my reading.
Yeah. No, that's dope.
Bro,
That's dope.
let me tell you something. When I started talking to my lady, right, she got excited over a book. And then come to find out, she got excited over some goddamn old ass encyclopedias.
Wow.
Because she sits there and reads them.
Mm.
Like, what the fuck? You're reading the encyclopedia, it's out of date. See, I don't care. I still want to read it.
That shows you the mindset, Ronan. Boy, the mindset is what?
Exactly. That's crazy work. That
right
mindset,
yeah.
Definitely an old soul. She done been here before.
Because everything now is an ebook or judging a book by its cover. You ain't even read the first page. You don't even.
What person in the mid-20s want to read a book half the time?
Well, yeah, it's some people that love the smell of the actual pages of a book.
Mhm.
They love the crisp turning of the page. Me
Not the
personally,
crisp.
yeah, crisp pages. Yes, sir.
Right, smell
Me
that.
personally, I love sitting like say I'm about to get out of here in a minute, have me a drink and light a cigar, and I'm listening to my book on Audible. If y'all don't believe me, watch this. Alexa, resume book.
Nice.
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. So you can sit back and just have it just read to you.
Yes, sir. That's why I tell my listen, bro. I'm not on here. I'm not. Y'all done see me fuck up many of messages. I'm not the strongest reader, but when they came out with some shit to where they'll read the book to you, you got no excuse nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. You can feed the mind.
You can still feed your mind. Like, come on, man. Back in the day, that they say the white people, at least that's what they used to say down south. I don't know what they used to say where you guys from, but they down south they used to say the white people would say if you want to hide something, put it in a book.
Put it in a book.
That's true. That's
you gotta
yeah.
say that right. You want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you ain't gonna read it.
And you know what's funny? I was reading Kevin Hart's book, and he was talking about in his book where he needed some money from his mother, and his mother gave him a Bible to read. She said, I need you to read this Bible, and every time you'll be rewarded or whatever. So he was going, he was trying to do his comedy thing, and he was falling behind on his rent. So he called his mother. He was like, "Mom, I'm falling behind on the rent. Can you help me out?" And she was like, "Did you read the Bible?" He's like, "Mom, I ain't got time for it." She hung up on him.
Damn.
So, he would go out and try to figure it out, hustle in order to do it. And, he would usually come up short. And then he'd call his mom again. "Mom, I need your help. Can you help me out?" And she's like, "Did you read the Bible?" "Mom, I don't got time for this."
I know where you're going with this one, but let me see if it's the same one.
So, of course, she hung up on him again. So finally, he broke down because he had no other choice, and he started reading the Bible that his mother gave him. And when he started reading the Bible, she done hid checks, envelopes with checks, with his rent money in the Bible.
All he had to do was open the book. It was already
All
there.
he had to do was just open the goddamn book, and he would have got what he was looking for.
Hey, Charlie Chan.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Is there a lesson in every word?
Could you elaborate on that question, please?
Depends on who's saying the word and what they're talking about.
As far as reading, like reading.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing.
There's something to
what
learn.
turned me on. Well, it's a couple things that turned me on the books.
I'll say yes.
I wouldn't say yes, because you could read a book. You could read a book like 5 years from ago, and you'll read that same book today, and you'll get a different meaning from it.
But a lesson is a lesson, right?
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes the lesson is not just a lesson. Sometimes the blessing is in the lesson.
But sometimes blessings and lessons are learned in layers. That's why you can go back and pick up something new every time you pick that book back up, because you were in a certain time and space where you weren't paying attention to everything was being said. But then you go back and read it again, and all of a sudden you see it plain as day.
Or Ronnie, maybe you got more of a you got more of an understanding to when you read it the second time, you get a different understanding of it.
That's right, yeah. Man, you know how many times I've read through the Bible? 12. You know how many times I've read through Revelations? 24. My favorite book.
And it was.
Can't argue that one, Ronnie.
I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad's book, and he was talking about, knowing the push, but also knowing how hard to push. And he said in the book that if you did not, when he was working at his store for 10 cents an hour, his father said, if you didn't get fed up, I probably would have came to you and told you that I can't teach you, because you was happy with what you was doing. I was letting life teach you, but I was also being hard on you because I was, letting life push you. And I wanted to see if you was going to be willing to push back. And I thought about that. I was like, damn, that's deep, because a lot of times we don't, push back on life. We just go with the flow.
Don't question.
But a lot of times life is about causing friction. And when you cause friction, that's when you start to see other opportunities open up for you. When you start to push back or you start to go against the grain.
All facts.
True.
Let me shout out my boy Tevin King for dropping the $20 super chat. Well, actually, it's a super sticker because there is no comment, no nothing but the pure love of the game, as they say. I appreciate you, Kevin King, for supporting the channel. And make sure you please support Black Cleaners channel. At least go over there.
Nothing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Cost you nothing to hit them buttons.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna drop his channel in here one more time. For those that haven't subscribed yet. Go ahead. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, Tevin King.
Y'all want to know how real this thing of ours is, man? Sometimes I'll just check, because I have a certain cash app, just like for my channel and stuff like that. I'll check my cash app, and I'd like say I didn't check my cash app, and rather than shot me a tag cash app, man, it ain't much, man, but this something on you and bro moving to the DR, man, permanently. And that shit, it just hit different, because like I said, it wasn't much, but it's the thought that weighs so much, you know what I mean? For me to
I do that too.
What'd you say?
I said I do that too. Matter of fact, the minute you just brought it up, I'm like, man, let me go back and shout out the people that sent me money on Cash App. Yeah. And I ain't said shit because I didn't notice it was there while I was on the live.
So unfortunately, I've been wanting to support all of y'all, but I don't have Cash App. I've been banned from Cash App. So if y'all have any other way, like PayPal or Zelle or any of that, then I can start supporting soon.
Well, here's
real
the
quick,
thing.
Shout out to Willie Brown or OG Willie, and he sent me a $10 Cash App. T Mac for the $10 Cash App, and Burt Ross for the $8 Cash App. Appreciate you, brothers. Thank you. I can't say it enough.
No, it's definitely appreciated. But my response to to foreign skies, it's gonna be my same response that I told you the very first time you said that, bro. Although it's appreciated, man. Just pulling up, and I can only speak for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But just pulling up is support enough, bro. If you ain't got it, you just ain't got it, man. It's all good. I appreciate you pulling up and just coming up on stage and conversing, bro.
Yeah, this ain't the e-begging channel, but we definitely support. We definitely appreciate the support.
Exactly.
And I respect that, but it's something in me that want to give.
That's cool.
Well, just know that it's not meant though when it comes to me. You know what I mean? If that's something that you want to do, your spirit tell you to, man, it's welcome. But even if you don't, you're welcome.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
For sure. See, the thing about being real, the thing about the truth, it don't change. That's the same thing I told you the first time you said, and I'm pretty sure that was last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
As they say, the rich don't work for money. They work to get the idea off the ground, and everything else will become a byproduct of you doing that. And as I tell people, for me, this is a labor of love. Of course, I mean, my goal is to be able to establish my persona so that I could, be able to generate, income from this. But I'm trying to generate income because I'm trying to help, where I'm at, establish an infrastructure for the people that are here to be able to elevate them,
Yeah.
So, that's really what my bigger goal is okay, if I could, be able to create when I've talked about this, I think I was talking about this on Charlie Chan's TV, with Ray Nair. He was saying, your dream is too big. Okay, yeah, I understand my dream is too big, but I got to start it because if I don't see nobody else doing it, I'm living in Panama. I see, a lot of these people out here, they're, relegated to the underground economy. And I'm like, something, if there was like a real staffing agency that could, take some of these people who have skills and be able to put them in contact or connect them with the right people who need their skills, everything will, start to work itself out because that's all they're looking for. A lot of these people is just looking for a job and they don't know how to create the job. And I've created businesses. I had, a pest control business in Boston. When I moved down to Atlanta, I restarted my pest control business, and then I started it to be a cleaning/carpet cleaning business. And I'm like, okay, you know how to do that, so why don't you just do that here in Panama and just get a couple of people who look like you and pass it on? That's what my father did before me. My father, because he was in pest control, he hired the people who worked at the hospital with him and gave them the job. And all of them were able to go on and do, their own businesses and be able to thrive after that. And it was because my father showed them the bare bones of starting a mom and pop business. Because a lot of people don't even know the basics of how to start a mom and pop business. And because he was able to show them that, and they was able to see, how his whole home office set up and all of that, they was able to do it and duplicate it. And now they thank my father because of what they did. And all I'm trying to do is duplicate what my father did here in Panama. So,
and that's
anybody
much
want to help me
appreciated.
with that cause?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You should
yeah.
definitely get support, Black Cleaner, because what you're doing is positive, and it can generate a lot of opportunities as well as revenue. So it ain't just about the money for you. It's about the opportunity, like the giving back, the love of it, and just actually caring about, somebody else being able to make it other than yourself. That's a powerful thing.
Exactly. Because everything is all connected, you know what I'm saying? And what you put in this world and is you're going to get back. So I try to put out positive so that I can get positive back. And I have been putting out positive, and that's one of the reasons that I am in Panama now, is because of all of the sacrifices that I made and discomfort that I put myself through to be in delayed gratification. I'm just living off of the delayed gratification of 2012, 2013. That's really what's going on. But here I am in 2026 putting in more work, on this YouTube page so that 27, 2028, hopefully by that time I'll be able to, use that to be able to help some other people. So with that being said, Found in Translation, that's the book you was talking about, Foreign Skies. That's one of the books.
Oh, that's the one? Okay.
So this
Nate's
one is about
Odyssey.
Panama. Yep, Nate's Odyssey, Found in Translation.
And that's on Amazon?
Yep, this is on Amazon.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely got to get that. So do you only got hard copy?
No, this is a paperback.
Oh, okay.
So it's a paperback and it's an ebook.
Okay.
And then, of course, this is the prequel to Nate's Odyssey, Found in Translation. This one is called
Memoirs of a Narcissist.
Correct.
Yeah, that's something I'll be interested. Yeah, I'm gonna be glued to them. I ain't gonna lie, because they sound interesting.
Yeah, this really what it was. I started seeing when everybody was talking about this whole passport bro movement. Okay.
Yeah.
And they was trying to put a negative connotation on it. And, I used to be on BMT. I used to follow BMT religiously. And they, he had Al Breeze on at one time, and they was talking about the movie Frustrated.
Yeah.
And he was saying,
Frustrated 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
We need to really do a passport bro movie where somebody's telling their story. And when they said that, I was like, something, they're right. We do, because there aren't a lot of movies or information about brothers actually being overseas. I mean, you might see movies like Mr. Baseball, where Tom Selleck, he went overseas to Japan, and you saw, or the movie with what's his name, the guy from Ghostbuster. He actually had a movie called Found in Translation, where he was in Japan. I can't think of his name. He was dating Khalees. What's the white dude that was dating Khalees?
I'm not familiar with that.
He was in the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters with Dan Aykroyd and
You know the song Milkshake? That's Khalees.
Yeah,
No,
I
he said
know
he doesn't
her,
know
but
the
I don't
white
know the
dude.
guy she was messing with.
He was no, that was Jim Belushi. Was it not? It's not John Belushi. It's John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, and who's the other guy?
Oh, the Blues Brothers? You talking about that movie?
Yeah. No, but I was talking about Ghostbusters. He was one of the funny men, and I think he was on Saturday Night Live too. But anyway, but the point was, you have all of these movies where you're seeing all of these white actors and they're overseas, and you're seeing them living life overseas, but you rarely see any movies where you see black people overseas. You might see them in Jamaica, but you're not seeing, what their life is like living in Thailand, or what their life is like living in, Europe. When was the last Black American European movie that came out that you've seen? You see what I'm saying? So I was like, there definitely needs to be a movie where you're seeing, the Black American culture or Black Americans experiencing life overseas. So that made me decide to write about my story being overseas. Now, because I see it in a movie. I see it being in a movie. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna definitely support Black Cleaner because I value your message. So I'm gonna definitely support, and I'm gonna get them books and I'm gonna read them because highly interesting.
Well, they're also highly relatable too, because a lot of the stuff that has gone on in the books, everybody's experienced. They're like, yep, I experienced that. Yep, Chopper and Dora. Oh yeah, the refrigerator, the empty refrigerator. Yeah, I experienced that. You see what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons that I did it, because I was like, we all experiencing the same thing, but let's document it. We talk about it on these live panels. You got people doing, videos and, stuff like that, but you don't actually have a full-fledged movie or books about it. So I was like, something, once again, when you want to be the change that you see in the world. So therefore, that's what I did.
And you're more well-traveled as well, so I value that as well. You're more well-traveled than I am.
Like Ronan and what's his name, Unfiltered Traveler, or Black Man Travel. Yeah, he done traveled to 42 countries, so I'm sure his book would be a whole lot more interesting than mine. But you know, hey, if we could all,
everybody gleans different experiences. Everybody gleans different experiences, even on the same trip, bro. No matter where you go, you can glean something different than the man standing next to you.
Exactly. And I see it like, you know, how, have you ever, I know all of you all watched Oz before, right?
Back in the day.
The white or the black
HBO?
version?
No, HBO's Oz, where they was all in jail
Oh,
together.
yeah.
Now, you remember how, like, when they would show the seasons and a new character came on, they would show how they got in their backstory, how they got in jail or whatever. See, that would be dope if the Passport Bros had a movie where now you're seeing these characters and you're seeing their backstory on how the hell they ended up in whatever country that you're meeting them up in. Like, you know, all of a sudden we all up in the house, we chilling, and all of a sudden Charlie Chan shows up, and then all of a sudden you see Charlie Chan's backstory of how the hell he decided to become a passport bro. Or same thing with you, Foreign Skies, or even Ronan. You know, you see Ronan on the you see Ronan's backstory, and he's on damn Facebook talking to his Filipina.
Yeah.
And the next thing, he books his trip to the Philippines.
Yeah. From all walks of life.
Yeah, and that's what I see, and I think the world would love to see that, and then they would definitely get a different idea of how we truly live. It's like, oh, okay, because that's really what it is. Is somebody else is trying to control our narrative because they don't want, like what you were talking about before. They don't want us to be out here because the money that we're using, like you just said, you're working, so as soon as you finish work and you accumulate enough money and resources, you're gonna get a plane ticket and head someplace. You see what I'm saying?
I'm definitely is.
So they're like, nah, we gotta figure out a way to stop that. They're taking away our market share.
Hey, Black Cleaner, I ain't gonna lie to you, because most of the passport content that I see online is negative. You got a few pockets where it's like positive, inspiring, somebody you can look up to, somebody who's giving good information. If you just type in YouTube Passport Bros, 70% of all that content is not good.
Facts. Because the loudest people in the room were the most negative. So that's why you gotta have like you said, you gotta have the people who are willing to step up to put out that positive information. So, and
that's a fact. Yeah.
As Ronan said, the Gen Xers have been silent for too long. So, when I saw that, I was like, ain't nobody else gonna step up? Y'all ain't gonna step up? All right, fuck it.
Yeah, Black Panther, but I also feel like you shouldn't have to do it by yourself. Brothers like me, and other brothers should support you, you know what I'm saying, in your journey.
But people want to see consistency. It's like the new dude who walks into Gen Pop. You know what I'm saying? They when that new dude walks into Gen Pop, and even Keen was just talking about it, they're gonna see how he handles himself. Once they see, okay, he's handling himself, in a good way, now other people are gonna come around him. But they want to make sure that you consistent with it, that you ain't no bitch, because therefore, as soon as they step up to have your back on something, okay, if you are weak, then that's going to cost them. You see what I'm saying? So they want to make sure that they're going to support the right person so that they don't run off on the plug, because that's what happens a lot.
You're a weak link in the chain.
Exactly. They don't want no weak links. This is Sparta, just like what Charlie Chan was talking about. He wants that solid 300.
Yeah. But all right, Black Cleaner, you finna shut it down?
Yep.
All right, well,
to say that.
Thank you for having me, Black Cleaner. It's been a fun conversation. I'm glad I was able to pull up on the panel for the first time. A lot of wisdom. I'm gonna actually play this back and listen to some of the some of the wisdom y'all was kicking today. But yeah, I'll see you on the next one, and you be safe. And yeah, just let me know when you live again, and I'm gonna support the books.
It's Monday, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Monday 8. I'm gonna put it in my calendar so I could be here actually, or try to be, depending on when I get out of work.
All right. I appreciate
All right, Black Planet, salute, brother.
Peace, salute.
All right.
All right, so we about to put this one into the books, into the history books. Does anybody have any final words? Everybody done went silent on me. Charlie Chan on the left. All righty, well, this is the Black Cleaner. I'm signing off, but before I sign off, I want you all to hear this. This message is, well, it's for someone. No, it's for someone in particular, but everyone can get something out of this information. Let me play it for you all. I got some other stuff that I want to play, but I'm gonna play this first.
You know, Chris Rock joked that nobody thanks Daddy for keeping the lights on. Nobody says, Daddy, I sure appreciate this roof over my head. We usually don't appreciate fathers until they're gone. And tonight, I want to tell my own story. My family came out of the South during the industrial age. We worked together. We built houses. We owned corner stores, hair salons, and a limousine company. My mother became a nurse and bought her own home. My father worked as head janitor at the hospital while building a pest control business on the side. Eventually, he got fired. What looked like a tragedy turned into an opportunity. He took his side business full time and made over $150,000 a year for 25 years. But here's the painful part. My father died with nothing. No inheritance, no trust fund, no paid off houses. He spent his money on gambling, clothes, women, and cherry vanilla ice cream. When he died, we passed the hat around to bury him. We paid for his funeral. We paid for his cremation. And for years I said, my father gave me nothing. But if I'm honest, that's not true. He taught me pest control. That skill fed my family from 2006 to 2015. My brother Nick taught me construction. And then I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and learned that freedom was more important than comfort. That there was another way besides working 40 years and hoping Social Security takes care of you. My mother passed away when I was 10. Through her life insurance and the sale of our family property, I inherited about $150,000 total. That isn't a lot of money. But with the knowledge my parents gave me and the books I read, I turned that $150,000 into nearly $500,000 through real estate. And I'm still building. So when my daughter says I was absent from her life, I understand her feelings, but I disagree with her conclusions. I paid child support. I was there for 16 years. I've only been gone physically for the last 3. And maybe what she sees isn't just me. Maybe she's carrying some of her mother's pain. Maybe she's inherited fears and beliefs that I couldn't overcome. But here's what I want my daughter to know. If I die tomorrow, God forbid, I'm not leaving you millions. But I'm leaving you houses. I'm leaving you assets. I'm leaving you books. I'm leaving you ideas. I'm leaving you examples. Most importantly, I'm trying to leave you a philosophy. Because $250,000 isn't a lot of money. I know because I inherited $150,000. And without knowledge, it would have disappeared in 6 months. Money without wisdom disappears. Assets without understanding disappear. Houses without discipline disappear. And generations reset themselves over and over again. So if you don't learn anything else from me, at least learn my intentions. Understand my morals. Understand my ideology. Understand that everything I've done, whether successful or unsuccessful, was done with the hope of creating something better for the next generation. Not perfection, not wealth, legacy. And maybe that's what being a father really is. Not leaving your children enough money so they never have to work, but leaving them enough principles so they know what to do when you're gone.
With that being said, you have any final words? You're muted. You're still muted.
Yo.
Now I was talking to Ronan.
Yeah. No, man, it's a great show. I appreciate you doing the counteractive part of what I did the other day. And that gets out more of the mentality and maybe some of the pain, and allows people to verbalize, what they feel like their fathers didn't do, whether they were present in their lives, whether they felt like they needed to be more present in their lives, whatever that was. I'm glad we had this show, and you did this show to allow that to be spoken out loud. You know what I mean?
Yay.
Okay.
Other than that, man, great show.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, because you definitely watch. I mean, I of course I already had this show planned because we did Mommy Issues Monday when we first got on starting to do the shows, and then we was gonna do Mommy Issues Monday again, and then I said let's do Mommy Issues Monday on Father's Day. But then when you did and we planned it, but when you did Daddy Issues, or you did your Father's Day rendition, it gave me a little bit more insight of the message that I wanted to portray. I did want everybody to tell their story, but my story, I didn't know what I wanted to say or what I wanted to put out. So me, being on your panel allowed me to be able to figure that out, farm that out. And with that, I land. You have anything to say, Charlie?
No, I seen you was closing it down, man. I'm out running errands. I'm the king of going to the bank before it's 12 o'clock because I gotta make a deposit. But no, man, great live, bro. I'm thinking about doing a live, almost piggyback off of this one, bro. Like, would the Black community be in a different space had fathers not left the homes? You see what I'm saying?
I got a whole infographic on that one, on the hypothetical if we were never messed with in the Black community, where would we be at?
Yeah, you do, Ronan.
Hey, yeah, and I seen that. Shout out to you. That's great work. But the fact of the matter is this, Ronan. Other places, other ethnic groups of people was messed with, but for some reason, the powers that be felt like they needed to make it right. Have anybody ever, and it may be vice versa, I just know they each one of them had one, like the Scottish motherfuckers had the police force, and the goddamn Italian people, they had like with the firefighter, you know what right. You know what I mean? Those were systems in place to right those wrongs that those people faced. You know what I mean? Yep. So yeah, no. Shout out to you. I just think those other factors play a part as well.
I agree.
But shout out to you, Black Cleaner. This was a fire live, bro.
I appreciate it, man, and I'll definitely be looking for that Charlie Chan TV live tomorrow.
Oh, we going up tomorrow. We going up. I might just goddamn it post the garbage can. We dealing with all the bullshit of the Black community.
Okay.
Let's go.
for sure, man. And, if I have never said it, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. You brothers are more than welcome over there at was Charlie Chan TV, on the simple fact that man, I thoroughly enjoy conversing with you brothers. Everybody cool. I like the way Cool Keem, that's kind of your persona. You keep a cool demeanor no matter what happened, man. So keep that shit up, good brother.
You already know it. Appreciate you too, Charlie Chan. Thank you for showing up. And I appreciate you letting me up on your channel too, bro. Let's continue this thing and keep it going.
Yeah, that's why I say, and I say that and I'll be done because I don't want to seem like, because I know what it feels like to try to get up out of here. Niggas start going on tangents and shit. But
right.
What I will say, that's in contrast to what I was saying earlier. We just need a few examples. And reason why I say we need a few examples is because once they see what us brothers, what we can accomplish just by working with each other, it's going to inspire other people to work with each other.
Yep.
Fact.
So I land there.
All right. Well,
so
thank you for coming up, and I see you definitely.
So let me say my outro then. Real quick. This is Charlie Chan over here kicking it with Black Cleaner. TV, and I'm fully in full support of Black Cleaner, man. So Black Cleaner is one of the brothers that I consider part of this thing of ours. So to support Black Cleaner is to support me, and to support me is to support Black Cleaner. Let's keep growing, man. And with that being said, this is Charlie Chan from Charlie Chan TV, and I am over and out.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Once again, you are chimed into Real Talk with Nate the Black Cleaner, live on YouTube every Monday night. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Peace.
The Black Cleaner, Nate's Odyssey, traveling while black, real stories, no filters. Follow the journey, across the world we've roam, searching for peace while trying to build a home. Through the love and the loss, through the pressure and growth, the Black Cleaner speaking truths most people never told. Follow the journey, no filters, no pretending. Follow the journey, real stories, never ending. From Panama nights to Cartagena views, trying to understand life from a different point of view. Conversations get deep when the camera's cut on. Talking purpose, pain, and trying to stay strong. Traveling while black in a world full of judgment. Trying to find freedom while escaping the dysfunction. Some people chasing money, some searching for healing. Others just trying to understand what they really feeling. Nate's Odyssey, every episode authentic. Talking real life lessons, people scared to mention. Relationships changing, friendship fading slow. Trying to find your purpose while still learning to grow. Follow the journey, across the world we roam, searching for peace while trying to build a home. Through the love and the loss, through the pressure and growth, the Black Cleaner speaking truths most people never told. Follow the journey, no filters, no pretending. No, follow the journey, real stories, never ending. Messy love Mondays and them late night talks. Money mindset streams while we question our thoughts. Building the broad but discovering yourself. Learning real freedom ain't just wealth. Black fatigue conversations hit different at night. Trying to carry pressure while still chasing the light. Every live stream feel like therapy sessions, helping people navigate pain and direction. No fake flexing, just honest reflections. Travel stories mixed with life confessions. The beauty and struggle of the global economy, trying to elevate beyond survival mentally. If you ever felt lost, if you ever needed change, if you ever question life, this journey might feel the same. Follow the journey, across the world we roam, searching for peace while trying to build a home. Trying to build a, through the love and the loss, through the pressure and growth. The Black Cleaner speaking truths most people never told. Follow the journey, no filters, no pretending. Follow the journey, real stories, never ending. Travel, culture, relationships, reinvention. The Black Cleaner. Follow the journey. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.